Okay, guys, welcome to another day with Zenler. So this is session 2. It's running for 3 hours. What we're going to do first of all is I'm going to quickly put into the chat a link for new people that have just joined the platform. It's a new onboarding funnel that you can go through to find out where all of our educational resources are. So I'm going to pop that into the chat now. A day with Zenler is all about questions from you. So although we do run kind of workshops within the day, we also look for questions that are coming in from you guys. All right. So if you have any questions, pop them into the chat. We have Rakesh joining us at 4 o'clock. So he's going to be popping on at 4. And he will tell you about the latest things going on with Zenler and answer any questions whilst I have a little break. Okay, so the onboarding link that I've put into the chat there, I'll go to it now and just share it with you quickly. So here it is here. So it basically takes you through all our sort of educational resources. So there's a welcome to the onboard. Then the next part of it is education with Zenler. We tell you where to start. So where to start would be the quick start guide. Okay, then from there, you've got the foundations. So we then introduce you to our Facebook group because you might have questions based off of what you've learned. So you can ask our super helpful community of people in our Facebook group, right? So from there, you can then go further forward and you can stay in the loop with our YouTube channel. We always put new product releases inside our YouTube channel, and there's pro interviews in there that Kevin runs. We've got video testimonials from people with our Zenlers, lots of stuff going on in there. Definitely check it out. And also the day with Zenlers all going there as well. This is our 3rd one that we've run so far, so it's all going well. Then we move on to tech support. So if you've got any actual bugs with the system, you generally don't post them on the Facebook group. Be looking for answers, but anything goes wrong with your system at all and you cannot find how to solve that, you can send an email to support@zenler.com and they will assist you. You will be, if you send it to them, you will be put in a ticketed queue. So there's other people before you. When they get to you, they'll send you an email. They can be busy at times, but they're fairly quick to respond. So wait for them to get back to you. They'll help you out and sort out any problems that you have. And it is a ticketed series. So if people are sending the same problem happening, we can escalate things inside of the support system itself. So this is definitely the place to go with any bugs with your system. Okay, from there, we're going to move on and we wish you the best for your journey. So that's not all from us. I put that's all from us, but that's not all from us. We're always on actively doing lives like today. We do office hours on Wednesday. We have lots of workshops running. So we've got Alice Miriam joined us. She's going to be running some live workshops. Kevin already runs live workshops. Of course, I run live workshops as well. So always loads of live stuff going on. Plus, we are on the Facebook group. We're answering questions, producing videos for the Facebook group as well. So full support. You are not left supportless. Okay. So you're fully covered on that aspect. All right, so that's all I'm going to cover with the education. You can run through that onboarding sequence and it should all be good for you. I can see that John has joined us. Welcome, John. John attends lots of the Sunday lives, so I know him quite well now. He's got a question about reoccurring live classes in membership still. I'm going to get to that in a minute, John, because we have got Rakesh coming in. So he's going to be answering questions. So he's got lots of questions to answer then. Oh, Rakesh is here. Okay, brilliant. Right, so what I'm going to do in this first hour, because Rakesh comes on at 4, and I'm going to be telling you about Camtasia. Now, generally, we keep all our training on platform, but we do realize that there's a demand for certain information on outside of the platform, such as marketing and all these sort of things, like how do you actually sell your site and things like that. And the questions have come up. I've been asked numerous times on Camtasia and how you can do certain things with it. So I'm going to open up a project I've already got and show you kind of like what you can do. So we're going to just have a little play around in Camtasia for an hour. It should be real good fun. Now, if you're not using Camtasia and you're using another video editing software, The same principles that I'm talking about here should be applicable to your program. You'll just have to know it. You should be able to do fades. You should be able to extend frames. You should be able to animate text. All these things you should be able to do in other editing platforms. Okay, now the reason I use Camtasia is it's really quick and simple to put things together. If I'm doing a real hyper animated video and these kind of things and comping lots of layers together, I would never use Camtasia. It's not powerful enough. But for doing these kind of videos, help videos and these sort of things, it's absolutely perfect. Screen sharing, this kind of thing. So I'm going to jump into that now, and I'm going to be showing you a project that I'm working on. So I'm going to just close this off and we will have a look at the project. Got Tracy here. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Phoenix. So here we go. So when you produce your Camtasia videos, what you're going to get, I'm going to throw the box up here, is when you're actually capturing, you're going to get this. So this generally is your capture area, and it will be like green around the outside. And then you can turn your camera on. Now, obviously, I can't turn my camera on because I've got the camera on Zoom and I've only got one camera and it can't do a dual feed. This is the audio here. So when you hit record, the thing about Camtasia is it actually, because you're recording the webcam and you're recording the screen, it will save it in one file, and you'll see these files. They're called Trek files here. And what it does is it breaks it into two channels. So it records one channel for the screen and one channel of the webcam. So it means when you open that file up inside Camtasia, you actually get two tracks. Okay, this will be evident when I show you. Now, generally, I've got a green screen behind me. So what I'm about to show you, you're going to see a green screen. I'm going to show you how to remove it in Camtasia as well. So Pauline has said she's got blurring of a picture. It probably has to do with the internet speed, I should think. Maybe that could be it, or it might be because I've got that on. I don't know. Let's see if it resolves itself. Has anyone else got issues? Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you, I'm going to carry on with this and show you this anyway. So this is a video that I produced. I'm not going to show you how to do it all because it takes quite a while. I'm going to show you what's happening. Basically, I've got different squares, and what will happen is I will say in one of the boxes, what is Surf Dudes? And then I will fade to this white image, and then another picture of me will come up, and then I will answer it. And then we repeat the process. So I'll just give you a quick look. And I might need to turn the volume off this one because you don't want to hear me talking. Let's go in here. So let me rewind that a little bit so you can sort of see. So we go into there. We got a start. And then it comes up, what is Surf Dudes? I fade back to that and I come up there and I talk about it. And that repeats itself throughout all the blocks. So it goes and I just start changing and dropping from block to block. Okay. Now, it looks quite complicated, but it's actually quite easy to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is create my blocks. And generally, I would use Photoshop for this, but I'm going to use Camtasia in this case. So I'm going to jump in and Camtasia, Canvas in this case. So I'm just going to jump into my Canva account and I'll just set up the blocks and export it out. And then I'll show you what I mean. For this particular example, I'm just going to use 2 blocks, actually 3 blocks, one to put the logo in. So I'll just stop the screen share for a second and I'm just going to pop into my Canva account and then I can show you from scratch. Okay. All right, screen share. Oh, it's clear now. Pauline's okay now. Yeah, it's probably the internet speed or buffering or something. So here we go. So I'm going to create the, now I'm working, my video camera is 1920 by 1080. That's the size of it. So that's the design I want to do. You can see I just did a test one here just to make sure everything's working. So I can go create a design and I can go presentation. Notice that says 1920 by 1080. I can set a custom size down here. So a custom size 1920 by the frame size. Now I want to make sure it's the same size as the video I want to shoot, you know. So if you're shooting at a different size, then you need to put those proportions in for that. So I'm going to click create design. That's going to just give me a blank thing like this. And I'm going to go to elements here. And I'm going to grab one of these free shape elements in here, which is a square, which is exactly what I want. Now, this isn't quite square ratio, but it really doesn't matter. So I'm now going to take this block. I'm going to click in it and I'm going to hold, and I've got to get this right because I don't generally look. I'm going to hold the Alt key and the Shift key, and it will constrain it to up and down by holding the Shift, and by holding the Alt key, it will duplicate it. So I can put it there. So I've got a new block, bang, like that, and it's going to tie up. Okay, now I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to hold the Alt key. I'm going to drag it across till it locks in, and I'm going to release. Now I'm going to grab all of the blocks by dragging across like this, and I'm going to drag down. Oh, hold on. I'm going to hold that Alt key, drag it down, and again, I'm going to lock it off. Now, one of them's gone slightly out, but it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to change the colors. So I'm going to click in one of the boxes, click in here, and I'm going to choose some colors. So I'm going to go for green for that one. I'll leave this one in blue here. Got some speed tests coming in. Rakesh there. I'm going to go across to here. I'm going to go to the orange. This is a little bit out of position, I think. Okay, that's better. Go into this block, choose a different color. I'll choose a gray. Go into this block, and I'll choose a red for this block, I think. A red. And this one, I want to choose a black because I'm going to put my logo in that color. So let's go black. All right. So now I'm going to drag across all my blocks, and then I'm going to sort of stretch these to fit into this area. So let's just get them so they're roughly in there like that. Okay, and I've created my kind of block. So I want to get this out now as an image so I can use it with my videos. Remember, it's 1920 by 1080. So I'm just going to click download. I'm going to download it as a JPEG. Don't need any. If you're downloading as a PNG file, it's usually because you've got a transparent part to it that you want other things to show through. Okay, but I'm going to save it as JPEG, which is a flattened image. So I'm going to click download. That will download, hopefully, into my folder down here. There we go. So I'm going to show in folder, and that's in my folder. Let me just get rid of that. You can see it here. There it is. So I'm going to put background. Now, I think I created this whole background in Camtasia. And now I'm going to put this into my folder. So I'm literally going to cut it. Now, I don't need to go into Canva anymore. So I'm going to close that down. And I'm going to open back up my folder. And in this, I'm going to paste in that block. There it is there. So you can see I've already done the video files. So you can see how I've kind of labeled this. I've got a kind of how much, and I've got 1A, and then I've got how much. So how much is how much does it cost? So I've just shortened it, how much. So that how much is what I say. And then when I'm talking about that in the next clip is how much 1A. So it makes sense. So I've got the first file and then I've got the other file, and it's very easy for me to see it in the system itself. Yeah, this is really important that you get everything organized when you're using like these files. How many have I got in here? I've got quite a lot, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 video files to make this because they're answers to it. So what is surf dudes? What is surf dudes? So I'm going to concentrate on these two, and I'm going to be using this logo and this background. So I'm going to open up this in Camtasia. So I'm going to double click on my video file. That's the red files, the Trek files. Doesn't matter which one, just going to open it up. And then I'm going to start dragging my files straight in there, and then I can compose it. And we can play around with some different effects and things. So let me go and create project. Okay. Right. So this is Camtasia. I have my files here. Let's start the process. I've got it on media. I'm going to click. You can drag, multiple drag, by the way. I'm going to click and drag both of these into here. Okay. Now, obviously, you would have a little clip, like an intro clip or something that you'd also drag in. But I'm not going to do it in this case. I'm now going to take this. I'm going to set it in here. So that's set my background. This is my preview. Okay. And I can also drag on this very end on an image, and I can increase the time. So I've got a time frame running here. You can see that's running to 50 a minute. That's a minute's worth of time. Okay. So what I'm also going to do, remember this is a multi-track editor, I'm going to put this in here. So I've now got my logo. Now it's not appearing here because my timeline isn't over it. There it is. So you can see. So what I generally do is I would put this to match that. Now I can take this layer because this is the active layer I'm on, and I'm going to just reduce it down so it fits in my black square. Okay, simple. Right. So this is what we've got so far. Not a lot going on, but we have two channels in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a little effect on the Surf Dudes logo. I'm going to basically fade in. Okay. So under here we have media. We can put annotation. You can annotate you through there. You can have transitions, behaviors, animations, cursor effect, voice narration, audio effects, and visual effects. And we'll be using a few of these. And I'm going to go to transitions, and I'm going to choose fade. Now you notice we have a lot of different options in here to use. I'm just going to grab the fade. I'm going to drag it down to here. Okay. Now you can see that our logo has disappeared suddenly, but if I play this, it fades up because we've added a fade in there. Now, if I zoom in, and I can use this to zoom in, you can actually increase that fade time. So if I click that very edge, I can drag it. So I can have a slower fade if I want to, like that. Okay. So pretty easy to work with so far, not too complicated. It's what we like. So now I'm going to start to drag in some of the other clips that we've got from here. So let me drag in what is Surf Dudes. So this is what's happening. Now I've actually got a document here. I don't want both of these channels. When I drag it in, you're going to see what's going to happen. I've got two channels, and the back channel I don't need. I just used it because I was reading it from here when I was doing it, but I don't need this back channel. Notice if I move it out of the way, it's gone. All I need is me down there. Do you notice, see the channels? If I swap between them, I can get this and I can move myself up and down, you know? If I move that, it goes away. So I'm going to take that channel there because I don't need it, and I'm going to get rid of it. And we're going to do some effects on here. So if I play this now, you're going to see, or you're going to hear me talking. What is Surf Dudes? Okay, so that's the first bit. Now, I'm going to be stretching the animation. So I'm basically going to be cutting a frame of the animation away, and then I'm going to be time stretching that bit to create basically a still image that goes white. Do you remember it goes white? So it stays there and then it fades to white. So try, if you've got to watch this twice to understand it, then do that, that's fine. So I'm going to go into this now, and we're first of all going to do some processing on it. So the first thing I want to do is get myself in roughly the right position in the box, which is going to be like that. The next thing I need to do is get rid of the green screen, obviously. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and we're going to go to some effects. So I'm going to go to visual effects. Visual effects, there's a remove a color. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to move it down here and let go. So you notice effect added. If you come over to here, you can see that you can got information about the active track. So you can see here, I've added that effect, remove a color. I could turn that off there, and then I could re-add it. So if you need to get rid of them, you can just click that little X. But nothing's happened to the image. So why has nothing happened to the image? Well, we haven't selected which color we want to key. And when we say key, we mean to cut out, remove that color. You could select any color. I could select the cyan color of my t-shirt and remove that if I wanted to. But I want to remove the green screen. So if you've got a middle mouse button, you can actually move in here, middle mouse button, you can roll it in and out, and you can use the space bar to move around. without moving anything around like this. So I'm going to go back onto that clip where it says remove color. I'm going to click this little box here, and you're going to see a little color picker. When I go over here, I'm going to be able to select my color. If I select that color picker, look, I'm going to go, and what I'm looking for here is not the darkest part of the green and not the lightest part of the green. I'm looking for the mid green, which is round about there. So as soon as I do that, it cuts the color out. Now you can still see a little bit around my head, but you can increase the tolerance here a little bit. If you don't release it, it'll bring it back. So I'm going to do this. You see this tolerance. This is the tolerance of the masking. You've got to make sure you don't go too far. And you can also use a little bit of defringe as well. So you can sort of use the two. And then there's a little bit of softness on the edge. And you have to kind of play around with this until you get it right. But not a bad effect for a Kia inside of Camtasia. There are better ones in other programs, but this is quite quick. So I've now cut myself out. So let's play it again. So that's good. So what I can do now is I can get myself and I can put myself in one of the boxes. So let me put myself there. So I could put myself there, put myself down there, wherever you like, and you've got that. So the first thing I want to do maybe is have a fade up. So I'm fading the logo up like so, and then straight afterwards, I want this to come up, and I'm going to drag this down so it's all organized. And then I want to put some text in a box so that when I say, what is Surf Dudes, it actually comes up as text. So I'm going to go to the Annotations tab. Right, John's commenting whilst I'm doing this, which is great. Yeah, it's good to have the script behind you because you can read it as you're kind of going, and then you can just cut that frame away. So it helps. But the problem with this particular video is really I should have maybe put it behind the camera because I'm kind of looking down and reading, which isn't good. But for this demo, it's absolutely fine. So I'm going to take this now, which is a text element inside Camtasia, and I'm going to drag it into here. And you're going to notice that it's going to create a layer down here. I could also drag it down here. I'm going to drag it straight in here. So I've created. So I'm going to put in here, what is Surf Dudes? Question mark. Now I'm going to select all of the text and I want to change the particular font that I've got here to something else. Probably, oh, it really doesn't matter. Let's choose something like that. Make it a bit different. Okay, make it bigger. See the size? You can make the size bigger here. I'm going to make it bold. Okay, so there you go. What is Surf Dudes? We got that. So I also want to create kind of ripple effects. Remember, it's like water. So I want to create kind of ripple effects. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to go into the behaviors, not behaviors, into the, maybe the behaviors. No, it's in transitions. And I think I've got what's called ripple. Here it is. And I'm going to put that on here. So that's going to disappear. Watch when I play. What is? There you go. You get that ripple effect. Remember, you can adjust that to make it longer or shorter. And I'm also then going to apply a fade on the text as well, on me as well. So I'm going to have this. I'm going to move the timeline. Notice I'm moving the timeline. So I'm going to go like this. That comes up. Right, so at this point, what I want to do is I want to freeze myself and I want to then have the other clip come in explaining what Surf Dudes is. So how do I freeze a clip? How do I keep myself in a clip and change the properties of that clip? It's really easy, guys. You'll notice that after I've said what is Surf Dudes, I have quite a big area of nothingness. There. So it's basically allowing me time to be able to cut my image down. So I've thought about it. When you're putting any kind of editing work together, little tip, before you record, sort of leave it like a few seconds and then record. Don't just start the record and go bah straight away, because sometimes you can miss the beginning of what you're saying. Just a little tip there for you. So what I'm going to do, one thing I didn't do is improve the audio. So I'm going to quickly improve the audio. This is really easy, guys. If you've got a lot of noise, you can use the noise removal. I haven't in my video, but I'm going to use voice leveling. So I'm going to go down there to voice leveling. You're going to see a little line appear and a little line there. and you've got some volume variations this side. This automatically appears when you put volume leveling on. You can see I'm not on the video, I'm on the sound. So I always go to manual, I always go to custom. I actually take the sound bar that you're going to see down there. Watch that as I move this slider, it will go up. I move it up so it's in the middle range, and then sometimes I take the threshold down a little bit. This will increase the volume but keep the clarity. What is Surf Dudes? So it's a lot stronger than it was before. Look, let me just cancel this and play it again. What is Surf? You see how much louder it is? Surf Dudes. So you've kept that, you've knocked it up and kept the clarity. So after that, what you can do with these clips, because this is all just nothingness, okay? I can put it after that clip. I can then go to here. So I'm actively on this clip and I'm going to cut the frame. So I'm going to click in there and that's going to cut the frame. Now I don't need any of that stuff. So I've just deleted it out by hitting the backspace. And I'm going to zoom in here. So it's really easy for you to see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back one frame from that cut point. Do you notice? One frame. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut that frame again. So what I've created now is an individual single frame. If you like, it's a single image on its own. There it is. I'm not moving. So what I need to do now, because I've got that movement and stuff with that single frame, I want to stretch that frame so that it allows me to do a special effect on top to make myself, in this case, on this light gray background, it allows me to make it black. So really easy to do, guys. You can go over your little area and right-hand click, and you can go add clip speed. Okay, you're going to get this come up. Look over here. It's going to give you clip speed on this piece here when I go to the video. And what I want to do is I want to increase the time. I don't want to speed it up, so I don't want to add more of a one. If I go to 2, it will be twice the speed. So you already know, like, guys, if you want to speed up your footage, right, you could select this clip speed, go 2 in there, type 2 instead of 1, and you would be talking really fast like that because you're increasing the speed. So what I want to do is I want to cut it down. So what I'm going to do is in here is I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to put 0 and then colon 0, 0, 1. And I'm going to hit enter, and nothing's going to happen because I didn't put a dot in there. So let me put it in here, 1, and watch what happens to this clip. Now I've done that and hit enter, it's really long. You know, it's gone really long. So I can increase it even more if I want to. And I go in there and I'm going to select backspace 1. I'm going to put 0, 1. So it's going to go even longer. I think there is a limit on how far I can go through, actually. I think there's a maximum. I think that's the maximum, but it's not a problem because I can always clone it, as you'll see. So now I've got that. What's going to happen? I'm talking and I'm frozen. So in the video, remember where I frozen, I went black or I went white. So I can easily do this. I can change it in here really easily. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this frame away. So I'm cutting that frame. Okay, that's still frame. And then in this frame, I'm going to add an effect. So I'm going to go into, sometimes it's hard to remember what I did. Got to get my head switched on. Visual effects. Right, color adjustment. So we've cut that big frame. So we've got a single frame, and then we've got this piece on its own. So I'm going to go to color adjustment now. I'm going to put that on there. Notice I've changed. It's still okay there, but on this new clip, it's changed. So over here on the color adjustment, not sound, we're looking at the film at the moment, we're going to take the brightness to black, and I'm going to take the contrast down to 0, which gives me black. Now, can you guess what I've got to do next? Any guesses what I'm going to do next? Come on, John. You can do this. Marissa, have a guess. All right. You're thinking, okay, right. All I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a fade. I'm going to drop a fade in here. I'm going to take this fade right back to like here, and then I'm going to put it over the top of this. Remember, this is the same frame as this, but we've put a fade in there. So watch what happens now. So now you've got this fade coming in on there. Now I could have done with a bit more speed on this to actually get it so that it works nice. So let's move it here and see if that works better. So you've got that thing, and then I'm frozen. So then I can bring the next clip in. So I'm going to bring the next clip in, and then you repeat that process. So when you get to the end of the other one, you can just come to the end of this clip and you can just go fade. And you can fade this clip out. So you can get to here and then it fades out. And that one's faded out as well. You could leave that in there longer if you wanted to, or fade them both out at the same time, like this. And there you go. So I'll bring the other clip in now, and you'll see how that stays there and the other clip comes up. So I'm going to then grab into my folder, go back to media, and I'm going to grab this one, drag it in. Again, I've got two layers because I was reading it, two channels. That's okay. I'm going to take this and get rid of this back one. So let me just show you what's going on. You can see me there. I'm going to get rid of this back channel. And here is a classic tip for you. Right. So you spent a bit of time doing your noise leveling, adjusting your screen. Yeah, you shot this all on the same day with the same lighting. So think about it this way. If you've already done the work in Camtasia on a clip that's similar to all of the others, because the lighting conditions is exactly the same, etc., why not copy the properties of the clip you've already worked on and apply it to the new clip? So we can do that. We can click this clip here that has got this nice cutout and the voice is leveling. I'm going to right hand click and I'm going to go copy property. Okay. And I'm going to come across to this clip and I click it, and I'm going to right hand click and I'm going to go paste property. Now I'm going to apply the effect. At the moment we haven't applied the effect, but we've got the property, the same head height, everything else. I'm going to come into here now and I'm going to copy the effect. Right hand click, copy effect, come back to here, click that clip, right hand click, paste, and there we go. Now, sometimes it doesn't match up correctly. So you might need to go in and just tweak a little bit of the settings, okay, in there. So we'll have something like this. So play it. Right, so I've got a little bit before that I don't need. So I'm going to trim that off, go to that frame, trim it off, cut it back. Go to transitions, grab the fade in there and pull this back to about here. And I'm going to put myself in one of the other squares. Where should I go? There, that's fine. That's good. So now we're going to see what happens when we play this. So I fade back and I want to pick up about there. So I'm going to put that little bit this way. Okay. And there we go. So that's how you can do it. Now, if you want this clip, this black clip, because you notice when we run out of it, the clip's going to disappear. If you want to repeat that clip, we can get rid of that effect there, copy this, go Control C, go to the end of the clip, Control V, and it will paste it in. We can bring it back down here, get rid of that effect. And I can copy it again. Go here, paste it, etc., etc. So I can drag it and keep it as long as I want inside that area. So now it's longer. So I'm talking about it and I've still got.
Surf Dudes is a membership for older surfers that are learning to surf in their 40s
And that's it. So that is how you can apply the effect. So you can see, if you think outside the box with some of these things, you can get some really good effects going on. So I want to also show you some other bits. So I'm going to just get rid of this now. So you understand the principle of that. You can create your background graphics in something like Canva, you can drag it into Camtasia, you can do all your different tracks, and then you can actually put those in and play around with them. It's all, you know, because it's all in different tracks here, it's easy to adjust things and move things around. And as you saw, we added more time onto a track. Now, if I wanted to, I could speed this up. Let me go in here. This is what I was talking about before. Don't worry about that. If I go into edit clip speed, this should be quite funny. I'm going to make this like 5 or 3 or something. What's going to happen? It's going to be really short to say, watch this, can be kind of funny. So you can create these kind of cartoon effects by speeding it up, or of course slowing it down. If I slow down the whole track, it would be funny. If I put that in at 2, it should be so that's really cool. So you can have some real fun with this, guys, you know. Spend a few hours just playing around with it, because it's really good. So if I put 0.3 in here, now what you're going to get is a slow. So you can have real fun. Of course, I can get rid of it by just deleting out the track as well. So a little bit about Camtasia. I know some of you are interested in how I did those blocks. So that's how you need to do it. So Camtasia is great. Need to go. We'll pop that in later. Phoenix, can you just drag the right edge space of the clip instead of repeat and pasting? No, John, that's a really good question. What happens, because you've clipped it, it will actually add back to the track. So it'll actually add the track on. Oh, well, actually, I don't know. You can, maybe you can. No, I don't think you can, because like if I take this track here, what will happen if I drag the end of it? What it will do is it will add only to the end. Do you notice? So although you cut that clip out, it's still there. You're just saying, don't show it, cut it there. So if you try and drag it, so you might be thinking, oh, I can just leave a little space, then I could cut it and move it. But if you did that, what would happen is the other tip. I can explain it to you here. If I take this clip and I cut it here and I get rid of this, okay, like this, and then I, as you say, drag it. I go in there. Watch the timeline as I drag it. Let me just go in here. See this wave form? If I drag this, let's just play it first. It ends. If I drag this across like this, it will reveal the old content. So it really doesn't actually delete it out as such. It just makes it kind of invisible. The system still knows that the track length, if it's 10 seconds, is 10 seconds, even if you've cut off 9 of them. Because if you pull it back out, it will reveal the other 9 seconds. Yeah. So be careful with that. So that's why I take a still frame, I cut it away from the original, and I do a separate track so I can bring it in. So I haven't got that issue happening. That's clear. Good. Yeah. So, oh, good. Oh, David's in there as well. Penrose. Brilliant. And Vicky, yeah, so it's really good to notice. I think it was you, Vicky, that was asking about this as well. So you can see how you can do it. You might have to watch it, play around a little bit with it to get used to the system, but it's really is quite powerful. So I want to show you now how we can kind of do what other effects we can do in these things. So I'm going to take the background away. In fact, I'm going to take everything away apart from this here. So I've just deleted all that stuff out. Okay. And remember, this is multi-track editor, so you can put more tracks in. You can move the tracks around as well if you need to. And I'll put me down there. Okay. And I might want to turn my voice off so it's not annoying. So I've got in there. Notice when I go to sound, I can take the master gain and turn it off so it doesn't actually make any sound. So I want to show you about some text now. These are quite good effects that you can add. Now, obviously, you can add bubbles and things like that. I don't tend to use these. They look a bit rubbish, to be honest. I use this quite a lot. Now, you might notice that the background, if I've got nothing in there, it's black. But you might want a base background of a different color. And it's really easy to do. You can right hand click on the canvas, go to project settings, and you can go and select a new color. So if you want to use a new color like this, you can go and set that in there, and then you can click apply, and you've set the base project background. Okay, this can be really helpful if you're using like a white background and you're using lots of transparent logos and things, like I've got the transparent logo for Surf Dudes here. You can see that shows the grey through because it's transparent. All right, so it can be useful to change that background on these things. Let me put that over there. Then of course, you know, this, look, notice it's over the top. If I drag this below, I'm underneath it. So this can also be quite good for you to use as well. So you can have things underneath because the layer of the order, so you can see through things, so you can just layer the order. This is pretty familiar. If you guys have used Photoshop, any of the Adobe suite, and you're used to layers, you'll understand it. Adobe was the first package to really work with layers, and lots of other software packages now work with layers because of that. So you can see you can go over the top, below it. So I'll just reduce that down. So you find out new things all the time. You know, I'm like, oh, that would be interesting for you guys. You're just playing around with it. You just find new things that can be really helpful for you. All right, so let's have a look at annotations here. I'm watching the time because I've got Rakesh on at 4. So I'm going to go and grab a little text block again. So it's in there. And you're going to notice straight away, if I zoom in a little bit, it's got a drop shadow behind it. Now, we at Zenler don't use the drop shadow. So initially I was using the drop shadow and Rakesh told me off. So don't use drop shadows on the thing. So I turned it off, but it was really easy. You just go into the file there and you just click here and there it goes. Drop shadow is gone. And you can always add that back. So with this, if I go in here and go, this is cool. All right, and I take this, I can drag this out to make it one layer, so you can see there. You've also got control of where it is inside here, yeah? And you can adjust the size as well. So I'm going to make it fairly big here, and I'm going to add an animation effect to it. So I'm going to drag this to the end, and we'll actually drag it out a little bit. So there's nothing, and bang, pops up. But I want it to kind of come in from the left or the right. So we can go across to transitions and we can look for slide in right, and I'm going to click and drag that down there. You're going to see this disappears. Watch what happens when I click it now. So really cool effect. You can get that kind of going in like that. Boom. Now, the thing about Camtasia is one effect. You can only apply one effect at a time on a timeline. This is a big problem. If you use something like a professional package, such as Adobe After Effects, you can do this kind of thing, and then you can add other effects on top of it. So for instance, what you might want to do, and you see this a lot, is kind of old hat now, but it was used quite a lot with text coming in where it would kind of be blurry. It would like be blurry and then it would like go crystal sharp. And that's because two effects have been added to it. One, a movement has been added to it from left to right. And then a blurring or a motion blur has also been applied to it based on the speed of the text moving over. So this is much more advanced things, but it doesn't mean that you can't get really cool effects using Camtasia. Just have to be a little bit, clever with it. It's like if I was trying to do something like that, where that comes in, I might decide to make this a bit quicker because I want to kind of deceive the eye. I want it to be really quick. So like bang. So if I wanted to create that kind of blurry effect, then I might go and look for a blur in here. And I'm not even sure we got one. To be honest. I've got a fade. That might work. I could then take this, copy it, paste it, bring it in line. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to check. I'm just going to drag this on its own. And this is what I do a lot. I drag things around, play around with them, and then add them. So I'm going to add this on here. And there we go. That looks quite cool. Okay. And I can only apply one effect at a time, but it's going to sharpen up when it gets to there. So what I might want to do is do something like this. So that's going like there. And I want that effect to kind of come in there. So you're going to get this. So it kind of does. You see, that kind of gives you that kind of effect. Doesn't really roll out too much, but I could increase this. So by multiplying these up, you can get some quite cool effects. You can take it that end. You see, like a boom, flash. So you can get these kind of effects happening by also multiplying stuff on top of each other. So really cool, this program. Definitely play around with some of these effects coming in, because you've got things like pixelate. So if I drag that over the top, you can see it kind of pixelates. And in a lot of these, you have the settings as well. So I don't think we have with this, no, but it is what it is. So you can just do that and you can get this kind of pixeling effect, which can be quite cool. And like I said, you can just add these randomly over the top. Now, you can also do it for the end as well. I've been doing it for the start, but you can also do it for the end. So you can click the end there and get some different effects. Be very careful with it. Don't overuse too many effects. If you're going to stay with an effect, you've got a cool effect happening, apply that in the same places. Don't use like pixelate, glow, radial blur, blinds, throw the whole thing, the kitchen sink at it, because it will look really funny, because you do see them where you go, oh yeah, shoots in from the side, shoots in from the top, blurs, like blurs out. It's and it's like, you know, it's a bit crazy to look at. So be really sparse with it. Try to keep it very sophisticated, I think would be the word, and then you'll be fine. But you can see these are really cool effects in here. Now we've also got in here, we've got effects with animation effects as well. So this is really cool. Right, let me just show, I'll just delete this out. So if I've got me up here and a nice big image of me like that, which some of you might not like, what you can do is you can say I'm doing a presentation. You might have seen this in some of the videos. So I'm doing a presentation, and Carrie, it's all right to use drop shadows. It's just our policy, and drop shadows are absolutely fine with lots of things. But if I'm doing a presentation, I'm talking about something, you're going to see this in some of the videos that we've produced for Zenler for you. You're going to see me producing and talking in a quite big size, maybe pointing some points out to my right, and then I might break into a bit of screen sharing. Now, screen sharing, if you've got a big picture of yourself in front of the screen share, people can't see what you're doing. So you can actually apply a custom effect to an image inside of Camtasia, to a video clip or an image. It's really up to you. So for instance, like this one, what I've got going on here, let's just pretend there's lots of stuff going on in the background. And I come in like this and I'm talking away, and then suddenly I've got screen sharing. So I've suddenly got a clip of a screen behind me and I'm doing my stuff, and I want to move myself down into this corner so I'm out of the way. It's really easy to do it, guys. Put the cursor or the timeline frame, or playhead, I think you call it, it's the official term. Put that where you want and go into animations and then go to animation. Now we have some automatic ones here. Well, the one I like to use is custom. So if you click custom and you drag it down here, you're going to see this little kind of line appear. So the beginning of that, the end is where my cursor is. The beginning is where you can see that little dot moving. So I'm going to put that dot just on here. Now, when you let go, it will jump to the end point. And it's basically saying between here and here, what do you want to happen? So I'm going to say, well, I want to bring myself down and be in the corner so I'm not in the way of my screen sharing. And I've moved it. I'm in that position. Watch what happens now. And there we go. We're out the way. So that's how you can do it. You can easily do that. You can also shorten or increase that however you want as well. So if I click that little dot, I can move it. So I can make it happen faster. I can make it happen longer. And I can also do some pretty cool things like actually add more in there. So if I go to here now, it's going to happen a lot faster, like that. And I'm going to show you how mad you can go with this. So I can drag this over here and I can put this, say, here. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go down there and put me up there. Look, another little time spot has started. Then I'm going to go down there. I'm going to put this up here, make it bigger. I'm going to go over here. So I want to be over here this time. And now you can see what's going to happen is I'm going to go all over the place like a ball. So really cool. And you can do this on all images. You know, I could do exactly the same for this as well. If I wanted to, I could come in here and put a custom piece here, and I could do something like that, move it across, and then you're going to see that happening as well. So you've got some double animation going on and over the top and all that stuff, you know. And if you wanted to, you could even say, right, well, okay, when I get to this point, I'm going to cut this frame, okay, here, and I'm going to put it under. So now I'm going to appear under the image. So you've lined it up with that. I know I'm getting really techie here, guys, but you know, I think you get the idea. So it's over the top. And now when it hits that point here, it's gone underneath. So really, you can have a lot of fun with this. Imagine a little ball jumping away, creating some animation of it going down, like if you were playing golf or something, a ball was jumping along and it went underneath and disappeared from view. You could use this technique to do that sort of thing. So yeah, it's really good. It's good fun to play around with. And remember, while you're playing, you're learning. So you're doing two things, which is all good. So that is Camtasia. Now, anything else in here that I want to show you really? We do have voice narration. Voice narration is pretty cool because if you've pre-recorded, and I do this sometimes, I'll do, especially if I'm doing longer sculpts for like ZBrush or something, I won't want to talk because I want to be in my zone when I'm sculpting. So what I'll do is I won't really talk or have any sound, and I'll have a video file and I'll bring it in. And while it's actually playing, then I will narrate over the top of it. So to give you an example, if I was in here, I could then start the voice narration and it will save a file out, a sound file out that you can drop straight in. So I think I can do it with it recording. I'm not sure. I'll try it anyway. So testing if this is working. I am doing a presentation on showing you the features of Camtasia. So I'm going to click stop and it's going to try and save that out. It really doesn't matter where I save it at the moment. I'll just save it there and I click save. Okay, and you can see this has gone in here. So I could play my noise leveling to this. I haven't even played the sound yet. This is something I just do automatically. Now I'll play it.
So testing if this is working. I am doing a presentation on showing you features of Camtasia.
Okay, so really good to do. So if you want to be in the zone, especially you artists, you know, I know we've had a few artists on today, so you might want to do these things after the fact, so you can just get on with the recording. I'm going to be doing some shooting of different surfing things at my local beach. Of course, I can't talk into the camera while I'm doing it, so I'm just going to record it without any narration, and I'm going to narrate over the top. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Now with sound clips, you can cut them as well. So I can go and cut this and move this away. And as John said, if I was to get this clip and move it, the sound would come back. All right. So you haven't got rid of it. You've just snipped it out so you can move it somewhere else. So I can create space there.
On showing you.
Okay, so you can see how you can cut things together. It's non-destructive, so you can always get that information back. If you need to drag it and get that information back and do another cut in a different area, you can, or separate this up. Could be good. So you might want to try this. Look, this would be a good one. If I take this, copy it, and then I paste it, and I put it here, and I just move it slightly this way. Let's see what happens.
So testing if this is working.
So you've got like a feedback effect happening. This is just like basic things you're just playing around with and seeing how it responds. So you can get this kind of feedback. So pretty cool. Did you split the audio and video from a clip? No, I did not, but a good one, David. Yeah, so sometimes, especially in Camtasia, now I'm working on this because I think it's an audio problem. When you're recording with Camtasia and you pause the video, which I do quite a lot, and then you carry on, then you start the video and you carry on recording, and then you pause it again somewhere else to start the video. Sometimes what can happen is voice syncing. It can go out of sync. Now I'm working on a fix for that so that I can share that with you. I've got a fix for it. But I want to try and do it so it does it straight in the system without actually applying anything. But sometimes you'll want to split the audio away from the video, because you can see it carries an audio. Now, also what I didn't point out to you is that because you're recording two channels, one the webcam and one the screen, you can also turn on the audio for the computer. So it will pick up audio from the computer as well. All right, that's something to bear in mind. But to split the audio from a video track, all you need to do is right-hand click, and you just need to separate audio from video. Now I have separated audio and video. I can take this away. You can see there's no sound. And then when I come to there, I've got the sound.
So surf food.
So you can see, and then you can match it back up again like that.
So surf food.
All right. So good point there, David. These effects will easily translate to using more sophisticated software like Premiere. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying at the beginning, some of the more advanced software, there are a lot more settings in them, but they will have all of these features and more, like being able to add multiple effects. They're a lot more sophisticated. Guys, if you're just starting, you want to use something like Descript, which is an online tool, or you want to use something like Camtasia. I know there's lots of different ones that people can start with. And I'm showing you some more advanced stuff in Camtasia now than what a lot of people use. But it's easy, it's just playing around. You can see your tracks that you've got in here, and it's really easy to do it, and you can add things to it. You know how to use fade. That's why Camtasia's lots of people use Camtasia. Lots of course creators use it because it's so quick, and it is quick because it can take me like 4 times as long to do the same thing in like Nuke or After Effects or Final Cut Pro or Premiere. They're all going to take a lot longer than doing it in Camtasia and outputting, for sure, but yeah, it's all good. So guys, you've got any questions, pop them in. I'm going to be handing over to Rakesh in a minute. I just want to see if there's anything else I need to show you in here. No, effects, you've seen that. We can just add them. Behaviors are quite good. Behaviors are good. So these are kind of, let me just put some text in again. So forgive the capital H there. I'm going to go into behaviors, and we're going to apply this in here. So watch what happens to this. Yeah, and with behaviors, they're really cool because you have things you can change. So you can change the in, during, the out. You can apply different behaviors to it. So I can just click in there and apply a different one. So I've got a bounce in and I've got a fade. So I've got multiple effects going in over this one. Let me just get rid of all of these. Start again. So there you go. Speed, you can speed it up. Or you can slow it down. You see? So pretty awesome. And you just turn them off here. If you don't want to use them, just turn them off here. For the text, I've already explained that. You can take the size, you can change the color here, put an underline, and sliding. What's this? This is not one I've used a lot. Yeah, see, that can be cool as well. So you're not just the transitional effects there, you've also got behavioral effects there. And of course, you've got the animations as well that you can put in over the top. Cursor effects, these magnify certain areas. I don't really use this, but I think you can go in and put them in now on the clip and it will magnify in. I don't really use those. Voice narration, audio effects, clip speed, that's exactly the same as right-hand clicking and going to clip speed here. You can notice this is just shortcuts to get to lots of these things. Fade in, fade out. Noise removal, really useful sometimes. You should be always trying to keep a nice quiet environment. Sometimes you have things going like the computer fan will come on, and using noise removal can cut all that noise down. It's sensitive driven. Definitely Google it because there's a lot of information on what you should be doing, but you can basically change the sensitivity. What I do is I normally set it on about 6, and I sometimes turn the sensitivity up to 20, and I'm just working around these numbers. Yeah. And that generally cuts out the sound. Or I use something like Audition to get rid of the any noise, Adobe Audition. So we got interactivity. You can add captions on there as well. And that's it, I think. So guys, you okay with that? I'm going to now hand over to Rakesh, because he's going to have a chat to you. So Rakesh is here. Hi, Rakesh. Let me just make sure he's good.
Give me a sec, yeah?
Hiya. Yep, all good.
Cool. Hey, David, can you see me and hear me okay?
Yep, you're there. Oh, you've had a haircut.
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Right, good. So we were talking about Camtasia there. I think there's a few questions coming, but guys, Rakesh is here, so you can ask him any questions you like.
Cool.
Don't know what you want to start off with, Rakesh.
Cool. Yeah, hey, thanks, David, and hey, everyone. And how's everyone getting on with David Zenler? And it's great to see a lot of familiar names and some new as well. Some great knowledge tips and value tips from David throughout the day there. And can we all give a big round of applause to David for putting together all of these amazing sessions? You know, he puts a lot of effort around this to all these sessions. And I thought, David, I'll take this opportunity to give everyone a quick glance of immediate roadmap on what is coming, what is planned, and so on. So guys, please ask me anything on the chat, and at the end I'll try to answer as much as I can. If there is anything outstanding, I can check it later as well. Yeah, so without further ado, let's dive in. So let me share my screen. Share my screen. Share my screen once again. Do you guys see my screen at all?
Yeah, it's good, Rakesh.
Cool, excellent. So let me just go to the slides. Cool, let me just present. David, is everything okay? Can you see my screen, my slides?
Yep, that's absolutely fine. Brilliant.
Excellent, cool. Thanks, David. Yeah, so I wanted to take a few minutes to go through our roadmap. So before going into our roadmap, I wanted to show you the sheer amount of features that we have shipped from the roadmap over the past year. So before getting into the actual roadmap, so let's take a look at all the features that we have already shipped from the roadmap. So these are most of the features. These are the features that you guys have asked for it. Everything that Zenler does, Zenler as a team does, is around your pain points, is around what you guys ask for. Everything is around what you guys ask for. So one of the first things we shipped from the roadmap was New Zenler Live, the ability for you to be able to run live classes, live webinars, live streams, live classes for your courses, for your students, live webinars where anyone can attend, register and attend, live stream where you can live stream to your YouTube or Facebook, all of it without needing additional webinar tools or like WebEx and so on, because we include Zoom along with, we run everything. The New Zenler Live runs with New Zenler Zoom, so that you don't need to pay for extra subscription. And I think New Zenler is probably the only course platform that does this. All of that end-to-end, you don't need to integrate with your Zoom like other platforms. Here, we are giving a New Zenler Zoom where everything is run live classes and live webinars, everything is run through New Zenler Zoom. And just after we added this feature, new live classes and live webinars, we started getting requests for how we can run recurring live classes. If I want to run the live class again and again every week on Monday and so on, how do we do that? So now you can see the pattern. So now we added, just after that, we worked on it and we added recurring live classes and recurring live webinars. So now we have the ability to create live classes as recurring, so that you can set it to recur every week or every other month and so on. And then we also added the ability to list your upcoming live classes and webinars, so they can, with one click, your students or logged in users can book your sessions. And we also worked on New Zenler Live. We also worked on adding new themes, stylish themes for your new live classes and webinars. When we launched initially, we only had a very default, a single theme. And now we have multiple themes for live classes and live webinars. And again, initially when we launched the live classes and live webinars, you could only run sessions for around 90 minutes. Now a lot of people asked for us to extend it further, and then we added super extended sessions. Now you got credits to run sessions until around 4 hours. We also added page editing support and themes for live classes and webinars. And again, we also added automation support for live classes and webinars, just like you got for for courses. You can send reminders for your webinars. If there's a 24 hours reminder that you want to go out, you can add it to every single occurrence, for example, if it's recurring and so on. So all the automation segmentation we added to live classes and webinars. So live classes and webinars is a product on its own. And then a lot of instructors wanted the ability to have inline lesson discussions. So we worked on that. So we added lesson discussions now, so we can have like a mini community right inside your lessons. So people can chat, they can like, they can ask questions and communicate in a very engaging manner. So lesson discussions right inside your course lessons. And then, to be honest, blocks wasn't necessarily on our roadmap. We were thinking about that, but it was not in the immediate horizon. But we could see this pain point being played out with many users. People still could not abandon their existing hosting service, because they needed a way to host their blogs. So we thought we should really do something about that, so that people can move their entire website to New Zenler without needing to still go on and look for other hosting services just for blogs and so on. So we added blogs. It's very simple blogs, but we hope to expand it sometime future. So now we have the ability to add blogs and so on. And again, branding wise, we wanted to make sure you can create all the different styles, all the design options that you want. So for fonts, we added font family, we added font weights, we added font styles. So now you can get like designer look for your pages just by changing some fonts and font styles. And again, we added that also to the course player as well. So really we added only for the pages, and then a lot of people wanted it to flow into the course player as well. So you got complete branding control for entire fonts, font styles, and so on. Cool. And next, regarding pricing, we did lots of changes on the pricing. And just last week, we added for PayPal, we added subscriptions, paid trials, payment plans, setup fee. The entire spectrum of PayPal or payment options are now available for PayPal. Now earlier, these options were available only for Stripe or Razorpay. We added the entire. We only used to allow one-time payments for PayPal. Now we allow subscriptions, paid trials, payment plans and setup fee, all of that for PayPal. And this was another big ask from the Indian users of Zenler, Razorpay. They Stripe and PayPal, they always have some issues with Indian regulations. So Razorpay is based out of India, and we added that. I think New Zenler is the first platform to do that. So yes, entire spectrum of payments, from one-time subscriptions, paid trials, everything is available for PayPal. And news, again, we also added setup fee, or the initial fee feature, where you can charge an initial fee before you set up a subscription and so on. Again, paid trial for subscriptions as well. Again, we don't always plan all our features. This feature just happened because we thought we saw a lot of people struggling with design. They had to go to Canva and then do the design, or get a graphic designer and get the design done, and then re-import back into Zenler and so on. It was again painful. So we wanted to make the process very simple. So to start with, I think we are the first course platform to integrate with Canva again. So you can now design your course thumbnails right from within New Zenler. With one click, you can load Canva up, design your course cards, and bring it back. We're going to extend it to the page editor and so on, but this is a start. So course thumbnails, you can edit with Canva. Now let's take a look at the roadmap. What is coming up soon, what is being planned, and so on. So yeah, so what is coming up soon is pricing for New Zenler Live. So with New Zenler Live currently, it's pretty difficult. It's a bit tricky to attach pricing onto your live classes or live webinars. I know David has done some videos around that to kind of make it work, to add price to a course and add the live class onto the course and so on. But we wanted to make it very seamless. So just like you got pricing tab on courses, we wanted you to be able to set your pricing plan for your live classes or live webinars. Yeah, so that is coming up very nicely. Hopefully you'll hear about that soon. Yeah, so pricing for New Zenler live classes and New Zenler live webinars. So once we have that, that will be a game changer. You will then be able to charge for your live classes and live webinars. Imagine if you have a yoga course and you can charge for your cohort, for your recurring sessions and so on. So yeah, so you can do that with once we get that out. So pricing options for New Zenler Live and New Zenler live classes and New Zenler webinars. And also this is, I think probably we haven't mentioned it so far. This is again something we are cooking right now. So yeah, so blog posts, currently there is no way to make almost like a paid blog post. You can't say this blog post you can access only if you are logged in, only if you are a logged in user or if you are part of a course. So we just wanted to make a start towards that. So we are adding a visibility setting for your blog post soon, and where each blog post you can decide who is going to see that, who has the visibility, whether it's your logged in users, whether it is public, or whether it's only for then enrolled in users. So it's great for memberships where you post some blog posts for you exclusively for your members. So that's that. And next one is a very big change. Is something which has been pending for ages. We want to get it out of the way. So I know you guys have been complaining about page editor having slowness issues when you load the page editor. When you're working, it slows down and you have to clear the cache and so on. So currently the page editor is built on our old framework, and it's some issues that we know about. And it even when it loads a page, it kind of loads lots of unnecessary style sheets and so on, which really it shouldn't. So yeah, so we thought we'll just scrap the current page editor and build a new page editor right from scratch. it will have all the existing functionalities, but we are moving away from block concept to a theme concept. So just like on WordPress, we're going to be adding world-class themes and for your courses and your sites. So you will have a selection of themes for your site and courses. You can, with one click, you can install them, and then you can play and make sure everything is fine in your sandbox. And then you can, with one click, you can push it to live. So it's a very fundamental change. So it's going to be clean. It's going to be very SEO friendly, and we hope the page speeds will also be increased substantially, just because we are doing this from scratch, maintaining a very low footprint and so on. Yeah, so that's a very big change, and this is going to take some time because it's a massive amount of work, and we are also building world-class themes, and we're building a framework where we can regularly add themes. So currently we just have one theme. I know it's a bit boring, but we are working on the new page editor. So the new page editor will come with new themes, selection of themes, and also we will be adding themes on a regular fashion. And again, with New Zenler Live, a lot of people wanted the ability to be able to add a lesson type for your courses. So now we are working on a lesson type where with one click you can add, just like you can add audio lesson or video lesson, you will be able to add a live class, and then you can attach a live class onto it. And then guess what? Once we do that, you will have the ability to live stream your live class into your lessons without any registration. Again, a lot of people did not want people to send each and every live class to students and then make them click the book my spot button and so on. So here you're going to live stream your live class into your live class, into your lesson, which has the live class type. Isn't that super cool? Going to be super cool. So again, we're going to get rid of there's no registration. So with when they load the lesson, it's going to show up. And again, we're going to have a little pop-up. If a session is starting up in the next hour or so, we're going to pop up saying, okay, a session is starting in X minutes, 30 minutes, you want to join and so on. So we're going to add that also. So there's no missing out, and there's no need of no admin involved in sending an email out and getting them to book the session and so on. So, and again, community revamp. So currently, the way it is community, it really works. It works like a proper social network community, but it's just a simple news feed. We want to expand it. We want to, again, we are revamping it from ground up. We're going to add a new design and everything, and it's going to have a member directory, and it's going to look bit more like it will have all the features, most of the features that a Facebook group has, like topics and so on. So we want to give you all the features that you guys use on a day-to-day basis on a Facebook group, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel or go to another platform just because community feature is basic. Currently it's a bit basic, but we're going to revamp it so that it has all the features you need to run an engaging community. Cool. And again, this is something that we need to work on to be able. Currently, we have only two funnel types: lead magnet funnels and video series funnels. We're going to add new designs for new funnel types and designs for webinar funnels, auto webinar funnels, virtual summits, waiting list funnels, survey funnels, and so on. And lots of refinements are going on to the platform and the infrastructure as well. You guys probably do not see it, but there's a lot of work has been going on, and our DevOps team is maxed out on making sure the platform is stable, the platform has good uptime and so on. And as we scale, we are capable to handle the scale. Cool. Let me see. Yeah. So and then again. And again, we are also going to, we are going to try and attempt to do it before the launch. And once we launch, whenever that is, We're going to be working on country tax table. I know a lot of people in Australia and Canada and so on, they want to be able to charge based on the location, based on the state or the country. So we will be adding that feature where, so currently we handle only UVAT. So now with country tax table, you can charge tax based on the country, whether it's UK, US, Australia, city, and so on in the US and so on. And also this is something, again, post-launch, we are also going to work on a calendar. So this again goes hand in hand with live classes. So instead of going to, again, paying for Calendly kind of thing, we want to bring all of that right into the platform. With one click, we want your students or your visitors to be able to book sessions with you. So calendar functionality, again, that's something we are planning to do after the launch. And again, after the launch, again, quizzes and surveys. Currently, it's a bit basic. We want again revamp it with all the comprehensive enterprise level stuff like branching and feedback and so on. The team has the expertise to do it because they have done it in the past. So yes, we want to rebuild all of that for you guys so that so again, this will go into the survey funnels as well. So we'll integrate that to survey funnels as well. And as I said, along with the new page builder, we build a framework where we can ship themes regularly. So we will be pumping out world-class themes regularly. So currently I can see a lot of people asking to where can I get templates and so on. So we want to reduce all of that dependencies. If you don't want to, if you still want to do it, that's fine. But we want to make sure we have all the default styles and templates and themes available, so you don't really need to. And split test, again, currently this constantly comes up in discussions. I think David, we always get this question. So yeah, we want to make sure we build that functionality right in without need to use tools like Google Optimize and so on, and many more. And we are also planning a lot of secret stuff that I can't really reveal right now. Again, just like design with Canva, we will announce it without notice. But I think a lot of things are coming up, and I think that's about it. Any questions, guys? Let me know in chat.
Yeah, we got a few questions coming, Rakesh.
Excellent.
Lots of them have actually been covered in the presentation that you just did, but there's a few. John's asked, I've added, reuse of class live for memberships. Do I need to create a course to attach lives to?
Who's that?
That's John. Basically what he's saying is, yes, you do. I mean, there's two types. This is a real big confusion with, can you stop the screen share? We've gone into hyper mode.
That's true.
Yeah, it's, the thing is, there's a real confusion here. Like with the webinars, your whole point of running a webinar is to capture a lead. So you want them to put their name in, you want them to put in their email address. Now, if they're already existing, they've already got a login. So you can't do a live to those people because they're going to need to register. So a live you would associate with a course that you've got. At the moment, that's what we've got. As Rakesh just mentioned there, you're going to be able to set up bookings for lives. It's going to be geared towards kind of like more people like dog trainers, therapists, these kind of things, because there's a massive demand for that. So all these features that you're asking for, they're going to go in there. We understand your pain points. You don't want people registering for things if they're already on your site or course. So that's why that's why he's covered that, and that's all going to be put into place when we can get to it. So anything to add to that, Rakesh? I think it's pretty.
Yeah, I think, that's exactly why we are going to add live lessons into courses, so that you don't have to work around that. So currently you have to work around a bit regarding that. So we want to make sure we get rid of all the pain points that you have. So so we're going to add live classes as a lesson type, so they can stream live into lesson without having to go through live course and attach it and so on.
Yeah, so just like you've got the live stream coming to the Facebook group, you're actually
Exactly.
coming into your course.
Yeah, so it's going to play the live stream. Your live stream from Zoom is going to play right inside your lesson. So there'll still be an option to go into Zoom, but by default, there's no registration. They just open the course player, open the lesson. They get a reminder saying, "Hey, your session is up." Click on this, click on that button, and they right into the course player with the live stream on.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. So I've got another question from Vicky. She said the last couple of days the editor has been really slow. Is there something wrong? I haven't noticed it personally myself. I have got some tricks for kind of avoiding that. As Rakesh has already mentioned, we are updating that. The problem is, guys, we put a lot of features into the platform and we've got to watch for knock-on effects. So although you're screaming for features to go in there, it sometimes can have a knock-on effect on things, and we need to be really careful. That's why we give no ETAs on new feature releases, because we don't want to put a release in there and then it messes something else up. And then we get a flurry of, support questions asking why this doesn't work. So it's something we're aware of. There are some ways of avoiding that. So I'm going to be showing, after Rakesh is finished, I'm going to show you a way that you can actually speed things up your end to do that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So there's, I don't think there's been any major change with the page editor side. It is what it is. It has a known issue that, when you continuously use it, it can slow down. So, and we always recommend to clear the cache. I think David is going to show, how to work around that. So these are the kind of things why we are rebuilding the page editor from scratch. So currently we cannot fix what we have right now, but we can create a brand new thing which is aimed to address all of these slowness issues with page editor. I mean, I'm more concerned about page speeds for students rather than page editing is important, but ultimately what gets you sales is the page speed for students. So that's our top priority. So yeah, so a whole lot of work is going on with the page editor side. So stay tuned.
Yeah, there's a question for you here. Any plans to add scheduled post to the blogs?
Yeah, so blogs, hey David, I think David Penrose asked that question. Yeah, so scheduled post for blogs. Yes, so currently the blogs functionality is only the first cut. We only added it because, again, as I said before, it was not in our immediate roadmap, but we kind of brought it forward so that because people were struggling with blog aspect. So we pushed the priority of blogs and somehow squeezed it in. So having said that, we are going to expand the blogs functionality to be able to add all the extra things like related blog posts, scheduled posts, and RSS. I think Carrie and Cooper was asking about RSS feeds. Again, we're going to look at all of that. All of that. Currently, I think David has done a workaround around RSS feeds, right, David?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, on the YouTube channel, you'll see under Ask Zenler how to do a workaround to get an RSS feed. But as Rakesh mentioned, it is coming along. I mean, you've got to remember the blog feature was really in big demand for you guys. So we put the first iteration in there rather than hold it back with all the features so that you could start your blogs and start getting your pages indexed. So that process has begun. It's going to be worked on for sure.
Yes, I mean, a lot of times when you guys ask for a feature, our aim is to get a feature out so that it has all the basics covered, and we don't go into too much details, because we want to see how you guys use it, how it's evolved, what sort of questions you have. We build the next version, and sometimes we scrap the first version. We build the next version based on your feedback. So we don't build a big castle and then try to see what's going on. So we start small, we ship the feature out first with the basic features, and then we iterate. So we work in a very agile fashion.
Yeah, that's good. So Carrie's asked, charging for lives, can it also be part of a membership, or will they be kept separate?
Yeah, I mean, the features should also go into bundle as well, so it should be fine.
Yeah, I think you kind of covered that. Lots of them you did cover anyway. RSS blog. Super. What happens if you have, oh, okay. So what if you have more than 300 to 500 people on a course when you offer a live class? Well, that's interesting. Without registration, will they have access if the quota on your plan?
Hey, Carrie, I think it's a great question, and it keeps, I think I see that being asked in the group a lot of times. So currently, I think Pro Plan allows you for you to register up to 300. So when you hit the limit, you won't be able to register beyond that. I think it's probably going to say contact the admin and so on. So this is because we can't obviously allow more than what we plan for. We need to be able to plan the capacity and so on with regards to Zoom. So so maybe you should probably look at splitting up into multiple seconds for audience.
Yeah, and if it's full, I guess it's going to tell you it's full. So maybe there could be some notification saying the replay will be up. Maximum attendees have attended. So you could do something like that. If you had 300 people on a course and they all turned up for your live class, I would be very surprised. You get quite a big drop-off rate. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but it's a valid point, and it might be worth having some sort of notice come up with that in mind, just in case.
That's true. I think the turn-up rates are probably not that high because life gets into the way and a lot of people do not attend. Cool. Chris says, wow, I'm just setting up Calendly. Yeah, exactly. So we don't want, we want to get rid of the pain point for you guys. So not immediately. This is something that we are going to look in the future. So something which can replace Calendly. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah. So Carrie said I would be surprised if as well as 300 turned up. She was just asking the question.
That would be really good. Yeah, we should really get some tips if that happens.
Yeah, it's good though, because that's why we're in beta. You guys coming up with these questions, and we might not have thought of that part of it. So it's often like lots of times things go into the platform. Well, most of the time things go into the platform you don't even see about, but they're based off things that you've asked. So you might get information changing to support you. There might be videos come up when you go into a section again to help you out with that section. There's all these little things that go on, and the team are working hard on the bigger features as well to roll them out. But we don't want to put too much in at the same time. That's why they'll roll out one feature at a time. They won't stack up tons of features. But yeah, no, really good.
Cool. And David Penrose asks, course themes. I did not know there were course themes. I think, David, what I was referring to is currently there is only one single theme for your course and for your site and for your courses. Now we're going to add a theme so that you can install it for your site. A theme you can install it for your course. So all your course pages, sales page, checkout page, thank you page, and so on, they all can follow a particular theme. So that's what I meant when I said course themes.
Yeah, we've got a temporary feature. If you go into the NZ Masterclass bundle, you're going to see there's themes. There's a theme pack. So you can actually go in there and you can take some of the themes there and put them in there. I've done some different types of inline forms as well that you can use. So you can actually take those themes. I'm going to be adding more to them, but probably it's going to be replaced completely. And when the new themes come in, we won't need those that in the course at all at that point. Cool. So that's about it, Rakesh.
Cool. Brilliant. That's it. Yeah, cool. Excellent.
Right, good. So any other questions for Rakesh?
Yeah, let me know, guys, if you have any other questions. I think the rest of it probably you have already answered, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, Rakesh, for doing the roadmap. That's always quite interesting. I kind of hang around because I like to see what's coming out as well. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's good. There's lots of things going on, so it's nice to be sort of refreshed of things that are coming out. So you can see that even after we launch, there's all these post-launch features coming out that are going to be added to the platform. You know, and these features are all based on what you guys have asked us. You drive this. This is probably the only platform that takes you seriously and takes your comments on board and builds for you. It's a real creators platform. You look at all the other platforms, it's not that way. So great stuff. Thank you, Rakesh. Right. So what are we going to do next? I was going to ask questions. Any of you guys got any sites you want critiqued? Because it's kind of the day with Zenler, critique your site. John's there. Do you want me to do a critique of your site, John? You can always rely on him to put his site on there. David's on there. Rakesh, could you address my question about sub-pages to lessons? Oh, that's quite a good one, Rakesh.
Pages to lessons, yeah. I think what David wants is like a nested, like he wants another lesson inside lesson or something like that.
Yeah, he might want. I know this has been asked before with membership sites. At the moment, when we're doing a multi-page membership site, we have to create separate courses, and then we break away the curriculum to access the course access page. That gives us access to another page, basically. But if inside of a course we could add extra pages that are hidden, so extra course access pages, and we could somehow link them up, then a membership site can be driven just by one course.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Is that something that I know it was mentioned?
Not at the moment, but yeah, if a lot of people ask for it. Again, we are, everything we do is based on demand. So if a lot of people ask for it, we can look at it. If probably there's no demand for it, it's unlikely we can prioritize it. But yeah, if there's lots of people asking for it and we have a clear vision around what needs to be done and how it's useful and so on, we can look at it.
Right. Okay.
I think there is another question from Carrie. I think can't find it anymore.
Carrie had a question. John's there.
Carrie's. Yeah. So Carrie is asking. So when the blocks disappear, what will happen to the pages built with them? So this is Carrie's question is regarding when you move to the new page editor. We are going to move from blocks to to themes. Yeah. So hey, Carrie, so all the old pages you will be still able to edit on the old page editor. So all the new pages you will be able to edit it only with the new page editor. So yeah. So we have two versions. So the old one is going to be called like legacy page editor and legacy theme. So legacy theme, you will still be able to edit for some period with the old page editor. At some point of time, we would need to disable that, and you would need to migrate the page over, because we can't really keep on supporting the old page editor forever.
Well, on the page editor, is it still going to work in the same way? Is it going to be drastically different, or because
no, the working will be exactly the same. It's just all the everything that it's almost like the engine is changing. So you guys wouldn't see major differences, but the fact that what will change is the ability to install themes, and so for ability for Zenler as a team to churn out and pump out design themes for your sites every now and then. So now we are stuck with blocks. We have hundreds of blocks, but each block do not have any relation with other blocks. But as a site, you need something which kind of has a flow throughout your entire set of blocks, right? So that's what we are trying to do. We are building in a page editor around themes. Again, yeah. So old blocks, you will still be able to edit with the legacy blocks. You will still be able to edit with legacy page builder.
Yeah, so guys, don't worry that it's going to be a complete new learning curve to work with a page editor because it's so important. We use the page editor in various places within the platform. Well, most places. The only place we really don't is inside of automations or inside of the blog.
Yeah.
So it is if it was changing drastically, then it would require
No, there will not be any learning curve involved in using the new page editor, because we are not changing the way you drag and drop stuff for it. It's just the way the fundamentals of how it works and so on, it changes, so that we are in a good position to add all the fancy features in future.
Fabulous.
So Carrie is asking, can I clone the old pages though as I like mine? Yeah, I think you can still clone all the old pages, but you will still the clone pages you can only edit with the legacy page editor.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be once we get this in. I don't think it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
You're going to go in there and you're going to do the pages like you've got, probably even better, and then you'll just put them across. It's not going to be a big problem. And in fact, when we do bring this out, I'll probably do a day with Zenler and just talk you through things.
Yeah. So how to migrate one page over to another page and so on. So that'd be great.
Yeah, that sort of thing, and getting across, because it's really quick once you're working on it. Yeah. So I'll do that and follow up, because it is such a big release, and it's going to be quicker. It's got loads of benefits behind it, especially all the templated pages that are going to come over in the blocks and things. It's going to be fantastic. So you're going to want to take them all out of legacy.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to want to migrate it over sooner than later. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
So Carrie's happy. So everyone's happy. Good. Right. Okay. Thank you, Rakesh. So what should we talk about now, guys? What about funnels? Everyone likes funnels. Shall I jump into some funnel action? Do you want to know how I created some of the stuff? Let me just flick up a page for you guys to see. And brilliant. Thanks. That's Carrie. So any requests, this is your time. I'm here for you. So if you want to know about something specifically, grab me, because this part of the day, when we've got an hour and 20 minutes before we wrap up, you can kind of dictate what goes on. And I want to leave a kind of bit of time for you to say what you want to do, especially in the second session where we're kind of finishing up, because you might have a question about something, you might want to see something on screen or know how something's done. And now is your time to ask. We have seen definitely a drop in questions because of all the tutorials that we've done, and we're really happy about that. I'm really happy about that. The quick start guide, all of those courses, we're getting less common questions come up inside of the Facebook group, which is really good. And when we do have those kind of basic questions, it's usually because no one's looked in the course. So, but there's always going to be things, and that's why we're extending it. We're not happy to just stagnate and just put in new lessons within the platform. We're also looking at things like marketing, like, okay, we've covered how to create your membership site, how to create your courses, but what we haven't covered is what happens outside of Zenler. You've built a lovely looking site, everyone's looked at it and gone, oh, it's amazing, it's great. But then where do you go from here? It's like you're sitting, tapping your fingers on the desk, waiting for people to buy your course. So with that in mind, we were like, well, how can we make things better here? Why are you not getting the sales or the leads into your site? Generally, it's because of marketing, or it can be because of the image you're portraying with things like videos. Maybe the production quality isn't high enough and it's turning people off instead of driving them in. So doing these things like critiques, I think, are really important. And I'd like to do more of them just to get you up to speed. It's like there's a few pointers today on the sites. Generally, they were brilliant, but there are a few things that you need to change, and it can completely change people's opinion coming into your site. Now we've got John on here, And he's revamped his site a few times. We've had a look at it. We've had a look at it in lots of the live workshops, and he's completely revamped it, made it more impactful and to drive those sales, because he's always looking to do better. And that's what you should be doing. You should be asking people's opinion, because you can be very close to something. And if you're too close to it, you don't see what other people are seeing, what your potential leads and students are seeing. So it's really important that we move forwards with this stuff, like talking about marketing, talking about Google ads, Facebook campaigns, you know, how your funnels work, understanding your funnels. Because I guess a lot of you might be, especially if you're new, you know, just creating your site and having one course on there, and you don't know where to go from there. You don't really know what funnels are used for. Maybe you don't really use the social media platforms, or you don't use the right social media platforms. And this can all, you know, it all just stacks up and stops and prevents you. You can then get frustrated, and you can then leave it thinking, I'm not wasting my time on this anymore. But you really have to be confident about yourself. If you're confident about your product, you will sell it. You will definitely sell it. There's a market for everybody. It's just finding that market. So John's put his site up here. So yeah, he's put it up for David to look at. So you can see John's trying. I haven't looked at his site for a while. Oh, we've got Chris. Yes, you can create just about anything with funnels. I created a great survey as a lead magnet and can even use to assess patients. Oh, fantastic. So you can see, like, funnels. I mean, I showed you that funnel earlier. If I jump back into that, let me just try and find out where it is. I close my tabs, So I'll flick that funnel up. And we were like, you know, we're always trying to make onboarding sequences and things like that easier for people. We were initially going to do live onboarding, but it's we'd really only be talking about where things are. So we thought, why not turn it into a marketing funnel? And that way people can go into it and they can watch and find out where the education areas are, because that was something that people weren't doing. They were just coming straight into the Facebook group and just asking these basic questions. It wasn't their fault. They just didn't know where the channels were. Although we mentioned it on office hours, like every week, people miss these things. People miss these lives. So we're now sending out a mail that sends them to a funnel. So if I just show you that quickly so you guys can see, this is inside the tutorial site, and you can see I've got the Zenler onboarding experience, and it's really simple. And you'll notice that in the funnel steps, I'm not even taking any registration for it. So this funnel is a little bit different. I have no automations in it because I can't have automations in it because I've got nobody registering up for it. So I'm using this funnel. I could use pages, individual pages, but I'm using this particular funnel because it automates that process and keeps it really well organized. So I can send someone on a little path, a little journey through videos and a little bit of information, and they can then, they don't have to register. They can just turn up, look, oh, that's where that is. Oh, that's where that is. Oh, that's handy. And then they can jump in, and also sign up buttons as we go. So if we have a look at this, I'm just going to preview this now. This is what they see. So this is a funnel. I haven't taken, it's no opt-in or anything. It's just people turn up. Remember, all our stuff is free. We don't really need to get people to sign up for this. So they come in here, they watch a little video, then they're happy with that. They click next. They go to education. So this is now step 2, which is down here. And then they go into the third step, which is a community, you guys at Facebook, you know, in our group. So they can join there. There's a link there to that, so they can join up. Then it goes to the next, and that's the third step in the channel. So there. And then they go to the onboarding, what it is, here we go. Yeah, stay in the loop with our YouTube channel. So they know to go in there, subscribe, hit the bell icon to see when all our new features come out. And then they click next, and it goes and talks about Zenler support. Again, accompanying video with this as well. Very ultra clean, this, for them to navigate through. And finally, if you're interested in upgrading, I'd show a video on that. So that they know where to go if they want to upgrade, because that is a question that comes in, and we pick off these points when we see these questions coming to the Facebook group. We often will go, well, that's good, that needs to go in there because that's being asked a lot. So we know when new members come in, if they're not finding the right area, what are we doing? Why are we missing that out? So we're constantly looking at these things and developing it. But this is a classic case of how we can use a funnel to just drive the audience through a journey. Okay, that's what this is. So there's no opt-in for this. I know a lot of you are using really elaborate things to, you know, you're doing surveys in there. If you look at my video on branching funnels, where you can actually choose which area you want to go into, and it's one funnel, but you can branch it. So you've got different things happening. If you check out the YouTube channel, you'll see it on there. I think it's in there. Let me just have a look. And that was quite a complex. So you could get even more complex with it. And obviously that is what Chris has done, because if he's doing assess patients, he's probably got a branching funnel system working for it. And I think I did this under an Ask Zenler. It's in one of them, branching funnel. Here it is here. So definitely check this out, because it's pretty, it sort of opens your eyes up to the capabilities of what you could do with funnels, and you could take it a stage further. So I'm going to put that into the chat for you, just in case you want to check it out for sure. But funnels, really powerful. I'm tagging in funnels as well. So I've got John's site there. I might just have a quick look at that while we're here. I hope you don't mind, John, but I'm doing it anyway. So here we go. So he's got play at creation, and he's made it very much, you know, there's quite a lot of impact. He uses this world image in quite a few locations through the site. It's all very clean. It was longer before, and it was also, we couldn't assess what the site was about initially. So now he's done this and made it ultra clear on what everything is about inside the course. He's got these lovely pages on here, nice about page as well. So you can see it's all really clear. Got John there and a little bit of text. He's used 1 row, 3 columns, and he's put that in there, and that should actually go nicely and responsive as well. Let me just check. Yeah. So he's got all that happening in there. So yeah, really nice. Yeah, but as John probably will say, you're always working on tweaking things as you go through this. Okay, so Phoenix is back. Hello, visiting for a bit. Thank you, David, for realizing that regardless how advanced our skills may be, you're constantly devoting NZ resources to help us create site substance that is far beyond what other services can provide. Yeah, absolutely, David. I mean, that's our intention, and that's why we take you guys really seriously. If you turn around, you need to tell us. If you've got a problem or a pain point, you need to tell us about it. You know, we don't take offense. We take it as criticism is good. You know, criticism is good if it's done in the right way. Obviously, you don't want to be shot down kind of thing. You want to say, well, if you did this, look at what they're doing. It works really well, and you do it in a nice, light touched way. We'll take it very seriously. We don't like obviously being shouted at for things, but we do take things really seriously from you guys. So keep posting any pain points that you have, anything that you want to see. If you decide that, oh, I'm really getting stuck and there's no video on this and I can't find it, you definitely need to put it on the Facebook group. A lot of people will respond and actually say to you, look, the video's here, or if we've done it. And if we haven't done it, I'll be right on it. Okay, just tag me in and I'll see if I've done a video on it. If I haven't, I will do. Yeah, Phoenix is saying she looked at the funnel, 118% conversion rate. Yeah, well, it's free, isn't it? It's free, and we're sending it out with each mail. This is something really important as well. It's like when you're sending a mail out, you know, if people are coming into it and it's informative and it's not grabbing people's information, you really quickly, I mean, we're really savvy about web, you know, putting our details into any forms. It's like, I'm not giving them my details. You know, if I can get away with putting a fake email address in there, I will. That's kind of the attitude now, because we're bombarded with marketing literature. You know, how many things come through your post and you put them in the bin or tear them up, and every time I do it I'm thinking of the trees, you know, all the stuff that comes through that's unsolicited. It's just ridiculous. So we're very careful about it. So when we take the marketing approach, we need to be very light with it, and we need it to be like, this can really help you, that kind of thing. So that's what we try and do anyway. Branching funnels, is that the name? Yeah, branch. I've called it branching funnels, but it is branching. You know, they do branch out, so you can create as many as you like. I think that you've probably already done it though with your assessments. So it says 1 steps 1 to 4 indicated top of the onboarding funnel. Yeah. Yeah, good point, Phoenix. With that, with the funnel steps, maybe I should have steps on that onboarding so that it shows people as they're going through it. Actually, on the onboarding page, it does actually have steps. I need to add them to it. I don't know if we've started sending it out yet. Let me just have a look at the onboarding page and I'll just share it with you, because then you can see the actual page that they go to. At the moment, we've just got it going through to a form where we actually will go on there, but I think I have the form, so we're on it. We just haven't had time to just finish that part off. Let me just, there it is. Okay, let me just share this. Right, so this is what you're talking about, Phoenix, which we've kind of already done. So this is the actual page they get to. So what we do is we follow through steps to go through here. But it's very short videos on where to go. So then we have down here, need group session. This form is going to be replaced with a button that goes straight into the funnel, but it's going to have steps in there like we've done here. It's a little bit more involved, so there'll be more steps, but that's what we're going to do in any case. So you can sort of see how it's working. You can sort of drive traffic through these pages to any funnels. In the marketing course, I cover that quite a lot. How you drive traffic through to get people to go into a certain area, how you offer things up, you know, subtly offer things up. Like you've got the free guide, you've got the top tips, top mistakes, you know, do you want to download that? And those kind of things. And eventually it takes a little bit of time, but it pays off. So John, can we import files into our site? So John's asked, can we import this funnel into our site? What the funnel that I've just shown you? Well, I could share the code with you. Maybe I should put that into the NZ Masterclass bundle because we've already got in there. I think, again, David was asking about the templates. So let me just go to the course. I'm going to share this with you in a second. Okay. Yeah, maybe I will. So there we go. Under here, down the bottom, you got this theme and block pack. David, I think you were asking about it. If you enter that course, what I've got is how to install them, what they're used for, the installation pack, customizing. This is all under tutorials.newzenler.com. Go into NZ Masterclass bundle, scroll down to the bottom once you've logged into your courses, and you'll see this theme pack. And you can basically install these. So at the moment, I've got call to action packs. There's squares, vibrant fun, Netflix style, fitness, business clean style. You can preview these and you can download them. And I'm going to have, I will do that funnel that I've done for the onboarding. I will change it for my surf site. I will put in there. But you'll have to set the steps up yourself. So you can basically go in, create the funnel, then go into the page, copy that block funnel in there. And you'll need to change where that button's going to as well, because it could change with your site, but it can definitely be done. Something to think about. So yes. Yeah, so good. Hope that's good, John. So hopefully that's answered your question in there. So I've got a question coming now from Dishuna. I'm having a hard time finding the element to put highlights, right? To put highlights in text on the page, it requires HTML and CSS, H1 text, and it's a work in progress. I'm sorry, I don't kind of understand that. You're using, do you understand HTML and CSS? You just want to know where to put it in the page? That's a hard one to know. Let me just open the site up. Okay, so here's a site. So you want to put highlights in the text. Oh, yeah, it looks like you've gone over the top with some effects. I can see you're using a parallax type effect. Oh, I see. Yeah. You've got everything going on there. I'd be a little bit careful here. Maybe you're just playing around with different features, and the top half I quite like, maybe a bit dark, but as soon as you get down the bottom, you've got loads of really, really big things going on. And it's a bit confusing as someone me looking at this site, but I'm taking it that you haven't finished it, Dishona. Maybe post a bit more information on what you want. Yes, to highlight certain text. Highlight certain text in what way? Color them. I'll put a block around them. There's a million different things that you could do. I thought she was talking about text background color in the text editor. Yes, been testing things. Yeah, sometimes, Dishona, if this is your first site and these kind of things, I would try and keep it simple. I wouldn't get too caught up in doing, I mean, a good site should stand on its own. You shouldn't have to do loads of special effects or anything. A good site, the first thing you should do is make sure it's a really nice, clean site, and it should stand up on its own without animation or parallax effects or glowing or animation. If it stands up on its own, then you can add these slight things in, but be very subtle with it. If you look at all of you know, Apple sites, any of the top sites, microelectronics industries, any of the gaming sites, and you look at the stuff, it's really, really clean, and they haven't got a ton of things that are going on, because it really can get too much for you. What you've got going on in your page is just too much. I realize you're playing around and finding the best effects for things, but sometimes keeping it simple is the best thing. Looking at your site, there's a lot of black, there's a kind of copper color and white, but there's no other color in there. So it can lead to it being, you need to make it a little bit more vibrant, just because it can lead to being kind of, makes you feel a bit down if it's all just black and dark with these things. So be really careful about that. I always like to look around at different sites. You just, you know, just Google on, go to Google and Google the best sites of 2021, bring up all these sites, have a look at what they're doing, you know, keep up with the trends. So if you've got all these magazines, if you're in the fashion industry and you're like looking at things like Vogue and stuff, you can see the trends that they're using. And you can feed off of that. So you can actually, instead of spending thousands and thousands on these new designs and things, you can just have a look at the site and you can mirror bits of that. It costs you nothing. So if you're not a designer, you can do that. And even me as a designer, I will do that, take the best elements and try and make it 10% better. That's how I look at it. Too much makes it non-ADA accessible. Yeah, so you can't, it's hard. Yeah, it's understandable. So you understand, but you know, I can see that you're playing around. So, and that's absolutely fine. You can play around, see an effect you like, just be subtle with it. Think about the subtleties of it rather than sort of highlighting bits of text. You know, the classic one is like having a row of text, and then you get like the middle letter, the middle word, like really big, and then you get the one really small. You know, it's been overdone so many times. In some ways, I think it's almost going full circle and going back to simple static sites that are clean and clear, and people are getting more away. Also, remember, the more effects and things that you put in a page, the more imagery you put in a page, the slower the page will be to load. So it can give you bad search results, or people are waiting and they bounce off of your site quicker. You can try setting up multiple pages, publish those pages, submit them to Google. If you don't know how to submit them to Google, the marketing course will be going out that will be covering all of that, how you can set up landing pages. And then you can actually track, you can analyze which pages are getting a lot of traction on, how long people are spending on that page, and see. And you'll generally find that if you've got a lot of stuff going on a page, the bounce rate, they'll be on the page for much less time. There'll just be too much going on. It might not have loaded and they'll bounce away. And the other pages that are more static and clearer and have a clear message, people to stay on those longer, and they're more likely to click the link to go and read more about it. You can see what Shea did in the first, Shea Patrick did in the first session that we did today. If you didn't see it, check it out. I critiqued some sites, and Shea did a little bit of copy and then did read more. So you could click through and read more about it. So it's capturing your emotion. That was probably the most important paragraph that you put in there, to go, oh, I really want to read more about this. And then they click through, and you you want that. You want people to come onto your site, and you want them to stay within your site. You don't want them to get on your site, stay there for 2 seconds and then bounce out. So these are all things that you can think about. You can test these things out. You know, you can create several pages, see where people hang around longest, and go, well, that works for my market. And it might be your market. You know, it might be in your particular niche that you're working in. It might be a case that they don't like videos, that they don't like images. If you look at the scientific world, you know, they love to have black and white text. They really don't like anything else. They don't like to have lots of stuff going on. They want it to be all laid out. You know, these guys, they've got degrees and PhDs and all sorts of things, and they just want to read through this stuff. They don't want to be watching and have any distractions. And yet, if you go onto something like a video channel, or you're doing surfing or something like that, people want to be like, loads of stuff going on. So it's different markets, you know, different ways of approaching it. So you can try it out by doing different types of pages and seeing where people spend the time there and what they're interested in. If you see them going to the video, you've got a lot of videos in a page and they're going there a lot, it's normally a good indication that it's probably graphics led, it's probably imagery led. So you might want to think about social channels being things like Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. You know, if it's more scientific, you might want to go the blog route and do more blogs and put stuff on Medium and other places. You know, you might want to go that route, do Facebook posts, or they might not even be on Facebook posts. You might want to go to scientific forums and post stuff on there. So it does depend very much on the market that you're reaching out for as well. So anyway, that's enough of that. Yes, that's too much. Yeah. So technical question, linking to a CSS file in the HTML, typically in the head. I don't want to go too deep. Yeah, you can put it into the head of a page. Let me just share my screen and jump to the let me jump to which slide should I jump to? Jump to this side here. So I'm taking it that you have it en route, yeah? So it's when I say en route, it's actually you've got a parent directory. So you've got it into, you're not going to put it off site. You're not going to put it on another site. That could cause some security issues with the HTTPS. All right. You want to get technical about this, we can go down that route. What you want to do is, like me, I've got courses.mojo. It's a subdomain. So it means that I can still access the root domain. Okay, so I can access my FTP folder. I can put a CSS file in there, and I can link to that file inside my subdomain. and link to it. You don't want to be putting it on another site because you're using HTTPS, and if it isn't going through that, it can cause a security risk. You can get a pop-up saying it's your padlock thing is insecure. So be really careful with this. I generally, in the Zenler site, I will put my CSS code directly into the Zenler platform itself. This is just my little warning to you, because we're talking about code which we do not support, okay? Just so you know. So I'm going to go into global includes. Guys, if you don't understand what's going here, don't worry, it's not that important. David just wants to know about these kind of things. So if we go into the site here and you'll go to your site settings, if you go into all pages here, you can put it into the head section there. Okay, you'll probably want to do it for the course player as well. And this also goes into the head page, the head section of all of the pages in your site. All right. Now, if you're doing that again for the blog area has its own little place where you can put that in as well. So you can link it in there. You'll notice in here that all of my CSS has gone straight into this area, and it's all surrounded by a script tag there. So that's how you can do it. Yes, we can set up a subdomain in New Zenler. You just do it the same way that you set up your main domain. So on this page, my subdomain is, I've put the actual domain, but on my other site, I've got courses. So if I wanted its subdomain, I could put it in there. So yeah, you can use a subdomain. That way you can still access your root folder for if you were accessing stuff across, if you know what I mean, you know. So I'm sure you do. David's more of an advanced user. He does lots of CSS and stuff on the platform. You've probably seen some of his videos. So he's more of an advanced level user, but he does some great videos helping you guys out with some of the CSS and things. I don't generally post, a little warning here, I don't post any of my CSS or Ninja Tricks stuff on the group. The reason being, and I've mentioned this to David as well, the reason I don't do this is because I don't want Zenler to be known as a kind of techie codey platform. It is not. It couldn't be further from it, but you have all this power behind the scenes. Okay, so we keep all that codey stuff that we do not support because it's code, it's not ours. You bring the code into the platform. We keep it in the Ninja Tricks course in the NZ Masterclass bundle. We don't talk about it on the group. Okay, it's like Fight Club, you know it's there, but you don't talk about it. Right, so it doesn't, because otherwise if we started putting code into the group, people would be like, what's this platform all about? It's just a load of coders. So we want to stay away from that, because Zenler is drag and drop. It's very easy and intuitive to use, and we want to keep that way. Okay, right, good. So Carrie's asked, Dishon has asked, is it possible to embed our courses into SAS and pass through credentials so you don't have to log in twice? It might well be, but no, because, well, I don't know. I haven't used that particular thing, so I don't know. I don't think so, though. It's also not something that we would do a video on. Definitely send an email to support@zenler.com. But it's not something we look at embedding our courses into any other platform. I know this has been mentioned before by people trying to say they wanted to embed their Zenler sites in their WordPress sites. So people were doing things like iframe wrappers and stuff like that. I think it's a really bad idea, guys. Keep it on its own. It's standalone. It is a course creation platform. We have allowed you to create as many pages as you like, to create blog posts, to literally replace your WordPress site. If you choose to, you can. If you choose not to, you don't have to. But to actually take the Zenler platform and wrap it in another site, I would say don't do it personally, because it's just its own thing, and it can be styled up however you want to style it up. We've given you maximum versatility to be able to style it in any way you want. So I'd keep it on its own. I wouldn't wrap it in anything. And it could be overcomplicating things. So Carrie's asked, can you add a different pop-up to each blog post, or just one via blog post settings? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, at the moment, only one, because you have that page template URL. Let me just share my screen. Let me go to blogs. So let me share this with you. Here we go. Yeah, these posts that are written, they get generated into a blog post page. There's two pages. There's the blog page itself, which shows all of the blogs on a page. Let me just go to it. And then there's the blog post page itself. And it is one page. So Carrot won't let you create another pop-up per page. So if I go to news, this is the blog page itself. Okay. That just shows this. Of course, I could set a pop-up in this page if I wanted to. And then if you go into the post, it will show the post, but this is using one template. So where are those templates? If you go into blog and go to settings, you're going to see that you have them here. This is the blog post page, and this is the blog page. So if you go and edit the page here, you will only have access to the one pop-up in that page. Is there a workaround for that? Maybe you could put a button going to another page, or you could actually code something in there. But at the moment, you can only do that pop-up. So if I was activating that pop-up, I would format that however I like, and that would appear on each page. So sorry, Kerry, no, we can't. At this stage, we can't. Reminder to log in using Google, Facebook, Twitter. This is an awesome addition. Yeah, so you can log in using Google, Facebook, and Twitter, which was a new one that we had. Good. All right. Right, guys, my voice is going a little bit, always does this time of day. So I'm going to have a little 10-minute break, and then we're going to come back to this, and I'm going to talk about, I'll tell you what, I'm going to come back to it and going to see what you've written down. What do you want me to talk about next? If you don't give anything, I'm just going to wing it and just do something that I think of whilst I'm having a little bit of a cup of tea. So it's up to you guys. I'm going to be away for about 10 minutes or so, and have a good think about what you want. Of course, put your questions down as well, and I can answer them. And then we'll finish off, and we're at 5:15 now. So I'll be back about 5:30, and we've got half an hour just to finish off any questions or anything you want to talk about. So guys, I'm going to put up my little background, which is an I'll be back background. And then I'm going to leave you for about 10 minutes. And any questions that come in, I'll answer them when I return in a minute. All right, guys, see you soon. Hi guys. Right, back again. All right, so I've seen there's some questions going in. They're more sort of technical questions. So I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not going to answer them. If it's to do with the platform, outside stuff, I'm not dealing with. So David's asked, how often do we offer a day with Zenler? We do this the end of each month. Okay, so next month, this month, what we've done is we're trying to change it slightly. I'm trying to get more people on board. So if any of you are interested in coming in and doing a slot, it cannot be on any of the Cody things or outside sources. That has to, if we're doing any of that, that will come from us directly, just because we follow best practices. But if any of you are like experts at maybe marketing, want to talk about Facebook ads, want to talk about anything to do with course creation, you know, like in the first session, we had Howard on, and he is a presenting coach. So he does like a charisma coach, and he teaches you how to be better on camera. So that's directly influencing how you're creating your content. So these are kind of things, you know, we don't just leave it to ourselves. We realize that we have 6,000 members in our Facebook group, and all of you are, you know, experts in your own little niches, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you know about coaching on camera. It just might be experience that has led you to be really good at creating courses or actually finding your markets. So if you want to reach out and say, look, I'd like to be on a day with Zenler, you can go in there and we can actually put you up, because what we're going to do now is, like, end of each month, we're going to try and do more slots. I've started the process already. So when you see with day one, you're going to see like a schedule of what's going on. You saw that Howard came in at 10:30 for about half an hour. And then we move on to something else. Like today, our main thing was all around critiquing sites in the first section. Of course, the second section, we had Rakesh on at 4 o'clock, and he gives you insights, and you see a little bit behind the scenes on what we're doing with new things coming into the platform. So that's how we're kind of working it now. When we did our first one, I think we were just kind of like seeing if it was working and asking questions, and we put forms up, which not many people posted questions to. You tend to put your questions straight into the group. So I think next time with the question hours, I'll actually go through the Facebook group, and any unanswered questions I might answer directly from there in between the scheduled slots that we're going to have. And it's just getting the whole thing to work, and for you guys to like it as well. Give us feedback if you're liking what we're doing, you know. So obviously things to do with outside platforms and stuff, we're not going to be talking about other outside source things, you know. We just don't like to. One, I don't know what you're using. Two is it's going to confuse people. We want to keep it all on topic. Okay, that's the main thing here with this stuff. So I can't see any more questions come in on the platform at all, which is all right. You know, I don't mind. I can stay here for a little bit longer and see if anything comes in. I might have a look at there was a question on the Facebook group. So I'm jumping now to the Facebook group, and I'm going to have a look, because there was a question and I can't remember what it was. And I think it was something to do with, okay. So I had a critique to do for Peter, and I didn't get to it. And I really would like to, because he was the only one that I didn't do the critique for. So I have got him here. So that's going to be a nice one to do. Kind of round us up nicely. So I'm going to share my screen in a second. I'm just going to jump back to the group, make sure you guys are all happy. Okay, so let's go and critique Peter's site. So here we go. So this is Peter's site. He's Californian Wushu, so martial art. And Kevin would like this. Kevin should be on here critiquing this, really. Okay, so first thing is, this is a really good picture here. It's obviously your students all lined up. I would, because what's happening here with your text is kind of like getting a little bit lost, I would probably use a background overlay on this, to just maybe a darker color, just so that this all pops. It's looking a bit light against the colors in here, and it's quite hard to read. I like this claim your week's trial, and it's flashing, so you've done that interval on the animation for that button. Guys, I cover the animation side in session 1 if you want to quickly look at that. And you've also put in the old chat box thing here, which is good. I noticed that everyone's doing that since I put that video up, which is cool. Everything else is not too bad. This is a common thing. I was talking about this in session 1. Space. Give your text room to breathe inside of any enclosed boxes. So you need to add a bit of padding to the top, left, right, and bottom, just so that it spreads it out. Just gives it a little bit room to breathe. It's kind of very tight. Also, be really careful about using rounded corners where you're not using rounded corners in other areas. And again, this needs a bit more air to breathe. Okay, it might look good if this was actually hugging up against this, so it becomes one block as opposed to kind of different blocks, because you've got this level here, a line running down here, which is hitting the grey box, and then it sort of goes out and then down there. So if you can add a bit more air around that, get those boxes the same width across there, and add air into this top bit, it's going to look a lot better straight away. Seriously, this is rounded here, so that's good. You've rounded that there. Your logo is rounded there. Again, I think that's kind of logo would look a little bit better if that was a bit bigger in there. So probably 80, I think, would do quite good for this. Yeah, it's a little bit, looks a little bit more on there. So Ninja Tricks shows you how to do that. You also might want to turn it into a transparent GIF so that it's just against that, and maybe put a border around it. So around the actual circle itself instead of a cut out square. But that's entirely up to you. That's just what I would do. Right, so down here, again, we have this. It's just a matter of adding some space, maybe knocking this up, bit of space in there. Check out the videos. So you got a nice video here. Going in here, rounded corners, so you kept it consistent. Yeah, that's consistent. I can see the floor there is that purple color, so you're bringing it through on there, which is also really good. And there, see, we have a bit of space here, which is better. And they're different sizes. Yeah, there's not a lot you can do when you've got different sizes coming in. You could take part of this and have read more and actually send them to a page that's actually got a testimonial, a bigger testimonial written to it, or the testimonials. You could also use what's called a jump link or an anchor, where they click it and you go through to that part of the page. That way you would reduce this down. It's looking a bit kind of like that's up, that's down, that's up. So it's kind of like almost like a chart, like a diagram chart. So I would definitely look at that a little bit. But generally, I like it. It's got a whole thing across. Again, I guess you got a club, so it's kind of you're matching your club colors. So it's quite good because you've got that to fall back on. A little bit more air around that button. So you just want to look at that padding, okay? The padding is in the site. If you go down under spacing, just open that little padding thing up and then just put a little bit left and right. And that'll add a bit more air there. And of course, your footer, you've got lots of information going on down here. If social media is really important for you, make sure that you do a post on that. So I'll give you an example. So you actually do a block. So if we go down to my site here, just going to share that. I've got social links here, just they're more dominant. As a club, you definitely want to, and it's probably really important for you to have that social side of things. So people can see, your students can see the videos so that they can communicate and they can chat freely on Facebook or whatever. So you probably want to put that in here and create a block. You can copy that block code or save the block out, and then you can drop it into the pages where you want to. So you can see I've got my social media down here, but if I just had it down here, people probably wouldn't click on it, you know. So I've got it up here in the main page so people can see it. So that's something that you might want to do just above the footer there, just to make it a little bit more dominant, because you've got a Facebook, Instagram, and you've got a YouTube page. And I guess these are constantly being used by your students. So it would be a good idea to promote those more for new people as well. If they're coming into the platform, they can join up and they can talk about your course, your club, and then they can join it. But other than that, it's pretty good. Bit too much space here, maybe. Just everything needs tightening and just a little bit more space around it. You've got enough space in that button, but because you've done a white button with blue text, it might be better to change this background or make that a colored background button with whited out text on it, because you're losing it. You've got a drop shadow around it, but you're losing it. Either that or put a border around the button itself. And that will help as well, for sure. So that looks quite nice though. Got pricing here. So that's cool. We've got pricing options. This is nice. I like the way that's kind of moving. Yeah, really good. And then those popping up as well, and a little bit more video. I'm following the same format. Yeah, and you've got using the FAQ block here to give information. This is a good use of the FAQ block. You could also think about using that FAQ block style on the homepage. So where we got the homepage down here, and you've got this in here, you could think about using the FAQ block in there, or even using the slideshow. Lots of people very effectively have used slideshow to actually give testimonials. So as they're coming through, it will just show one at a time going through using the slideshow block that we have built into the platform. So let me have a look at the blog. Yeah, that's good. You know, with this picture, I think you've already cut yourself out, but I think I'd give yourself a little bit of drop shadow under there. If you're capable of doing that, you've cut this out really well. So if you can put kind of drop shadow underneath, then it kind of grounds you. A lot of people do this. They cut themselves out and they stick themselves straight in the site, and then it doesn't look grounded. So it looks a bit odd, especially with these kind of really sharp angles. So if you can ground yourself by putting a little bit of shadow under the feet area, using a just simple editing program, then you can actually ground yourself in there, and it will look a lot better doing that. I'd probably change this gray block as well slightly, just change the color slightly on here. I think that will make a big difference as well. See if I can just change it inside here. So like something like that, you know, or go the other way, go darker. You know, that automatically kind of grounds you if you put it into black, but you can see that it goes there. And you can change, you can take a part of that color. It just breaks it away from the top. Blog posts, that's all good. Yeah, you've got loads of stuff going on here. And all the links down the bottom. So I think that's it. Oh, I do notice this. Look, your menu's changed in here. So your blog menu's changed. You need to try and sort that out. All right, but good job. Really good job. So hopefully that's helped you. So have I got any more to do? Right, guys, let's just have a look. Right, Dishona, just pop on office hours or post your question onto the Facebook group, and I'm sure they'll get back to you on that. It's just a bit of a big subject for me to cover on here. All right. So where is this question? Right, so I'm just looking through the Facebook group now. Right, let's share the Facebook screen and I can show you. Right, let me put that over there. Over there. Talk about some of these questions. Okay, so I got a question here from Mandar Malanth, and he's asked a question for membership owners in New Zenler. I've sent this question to support, but want to check with fellow NZ membership owners too. Have a membership that already had some members in it who had joined through pricing plans that existed at the time of joining. These pricing plans did not use any tier functionality. Recently, I removed those pricing plans and added new ones. New pricing plans use tiers. I now have new members who've joined using the new plan. Now, when I set up live classes and try to select the plans which are eligible for attending these calls, I see only the new pricing plans, but not the old ones. Yeah, that's the problem. What you're going to need to do is export those users out from your system, import them back into that pricing plan. Otherwise, if it's a live class, it should be all right. You should be able to. Oh, I see. Because yeah, Amanda, I already answered this because you were asking about can you set them up to go into certain tiers. So you'll need to export them out and you need to re-import them in. So I might need to show you how to do that. I have got some videos on it, but in this particular case, it's very specific. So I need to just show you. So Watana has put, is it me or is everyone feeling the same that NZ is not treating paying customers well? In what respect? I love New Zenler. I've been using the platform for almost 3 years now. I always recommend NZ to friends and help them with onboarding issues. But my case today is a bit unbearable. I reported one of the bugs to support a few days ago and asked if there's a way to revert it since the bug jeopardized my site's customer database. Oh, I don't know. I mean, generally support will get back to you really quickly. So I'm not understanding. If you supplied something to someone else and it's corrupted their database, I don't know. If you supplied an export to them, if you've done an export to them, it's just a simple CSV file. It shouldn't corrupt anything. So the support simply say their developers team will fix the API, but have manually fixed the students. So they will get to it. Sorry for your regards to this, but they're looking into the issue. I'm sure if they've sent you an email, they will get to it. Apologies, Waratana. So there's a reply to this. So Zenler support did get back and help. Right, yeah, Dan's got, I used to have a proper founding members account, but it seems to be deactivated. Who do I talk to get things in order? Now, Tracy's already put support at zenler.com. So, yeah, support at zenler.com will sort that out for you, for sure. You've got our Wow Wednesday there. Guys, if you're not familiar with Wow Wednesdays, it's where you can post your sites and stuff. Got some stuff there. That's the site I just looked at by Peter. Right, so I got a question here. I'm trying to put a $9 course after people download a freebie in the marketing funnel. Is it offered in the free version of New Zenler? Yeah, you can. But if you're using the free version, then Zenler's going to charge you 10% on the sale. Okay, I think Kevin's put that there as well. So you've got Belly Dance Lands of Chris, and wondering if others have had problems branding applying but not being overwritten for course pages. Want to create a new text element in my course sales page and change its font type and color. So want to create a new font, you just have to make sure that you've turned branding off for that particular font block. Okay, that's pretty easy to do. You can see it if you go over to the settings and scroll right down to the bottom. You can see apply branding. So you're going to create your own, turn branding off, and then you can change the font style, and it won't pick up from the branding. That's pretty easy. It's saying it's not working. Just make sure you save it out, refresh the cache, but it still didn't work. So I might have to check that out, but I don't think there's a problem. I've not had any problems with that for sure. I'm sure if people were, it would be really listed up there, but I will check that out with you personally. Your course is on keyword research. What topic would you use? Yeah, I already answered this. This is quite an interesting one. So if your course is on keyword research, what topic would you use for lead magnet? So Victoria's asked this. I've put in there that, you know, if you're doing a topic on keyword research, then you should keyword research it. But there's lots of answers coming in here. And this is where it kind of like loses a little bit of clarity, because it's like Howard's put here, 3 top techniques to do better and faster keyword research. So yeah, than your competitors. What you're looking for with any kind of keyword is you've got to remember that maybe a lot of people that would buy into the course don't know what keyword research is. This could be a real big problem for people. So they can put things in there because they're technical, but people won't understand them or won't know what they actually mean in that regards. So I put a little subject in here, and this is worth bearing in mind because this is how you should be thinking through any of the pages or any of the courses you're creating. So I was suggesting saying something like increase, or use the word boost or upsell, or increase your sales, because that's probably what they're trying to do. If it is aimed at people selling things, it's probably what they're trying to do. So you notice I haven't really used keyword research at all. I'm basically focusing all my attention on what people would put or what people would understand. And I think this is really key to any kind of keyword searching and stuff that you're doing, is to make it so that it's really clear what it is. Like, stay away from too much techie talk, or, you know, these short words, you know, like LSI or something. People are, what's LSI? I don't know what that is. So if you actually say it's actually a related topic, that's what it means, a related topic keyword. That's what it means, but you'd never guess it from an acronym, you know. So by actually saying something like increase your sales, you're straight away, that's what people have found it. Increase your, that's what I want to do. I want to increase my sales. Then they go using keywords. Well, I don't know what that means, but I'll have a look. And they go and have a look. Oh, keyword research. That's the whole thing. Buy. Then they buy in. If you're going to hit them straight away with what's the best use for keyword research, well, they might not know what keyword research, best keyword research tools. Okay, unless you're actually aiming this at people that are already doing keyword research, and then they might not do it because they're already doing it. Do you see what I mean? So if you actually put it that way, it can be better for those kind of results. So try and stay away from technical jargon. This is something, I have a lot of technical jargon in the stuff I do, like coding, like in my ZBrush work, digital sculpting. It's full of keywords, full of acronyms, full of shortened versions of things. And I never, ever, ever use them. I always stay to plain English. And if I'm explaining something, I'll explain what it is. So if it's a word like NURBS, non-uniform rational B-splines. Okay, what's that? Non-uniform rational B-spline. What does that mean? By explain what it is, it's mathematical equations, splines being curves. So I explain it in a way that's easily digestible, and then they can understand it. And if I was putting that to people that were already in the industry, I would use the word NURBS because they would know what it was. But then I'd be alienating everybody who wants to learn about 3D that doesn't know what it means because they're learning. So you've got to take that into account. I think that's my view anyway. Oh, okay. So this is the question I was actually looking for around the houses. And this is someone, Amar, wanted to put a simple button into his email broadcast and wanted to know how. Well, you could basically just create a button in an image editing program. You could even use Canva, and you can just put that in as an image inside of there. So I'm actually going to try and save this image out, which I think I can do. Let me just do button. I'll just put it on here. Is that on my desktop? Yeah. Okay. So, and I'll put it into an email broadcast. So I'm just going to stop the share, and I'm going to go to SurfDude site. I'm not going to send it or anything. I'm just going to put it in here. Oh, let's go to the tutorials. Go and sign in. 2 seconds, guys. Jumping around from account to account. Email marketing. Okay, let's go in here, test this out. So I've got a little test email that I set up. Select a list all contacts. All right. Okay. Going to share the screen. All right, okay, so I've got that image on my desktop. So this is an email broadcast. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's automations, whether it's email broadcast, you can do the same thing. So come in here, grab this image. So I'm going to go to upload, and I'm going to go and find that image, which should be on my desktop. There it is there, and I'm going to click open. That's going to put the button in here, and I'm going to come down here and make it a bit smaller. I'm also going to move the location of it down there. So I've created my button in there. So if I go over the button, I click edit, you're going to see that you can put a link in here. So this can be the link to wherever you want it to go. So in my case, you know, I might want to put it to a funnel or something like that. So you can put a link in here, and then I'm just going to use a URL. Let's go and grab a URL there. And I'm going to click open in new tab, and I'm going to click save. And now I've added a link onto this button. Do you notice in the bottom left hand corner if I mouse over it? So I can carry on writing my email as I normally would, and adding any personalizations into that email that I have and I want to put in there. And then you've got that button in there as well. So that's how to do it. Create your button. You can use Canva to create your button. You know, you could use HTML if you know HTML, but I'm not going to talk about that. And you can put a button in there and you can link straight to an image. So it's really as simple as that. So I'm glad I found that question, because that was a good one. Okay, let me stop the share there. I'm just going to see if any more questions are coming in. No. So I've got 3 viewers. So I think we're pretty much finished for the day, guys. So it's now 5:54 and we've done another day with Zenler. So the next day with Zenler, we're going to schedule it out a bit better, you know. I would say, like for Deshona and sort of David, any of these kind of like really codey, or if it's like a tech question, just wait for Rakesh's slot to come in. So he's always got a slot on the day with Zenler. So just wait for him to come in to answer some of these questions, or put it into the Facebook group and we'll get to it. I've got to be really careful that some of the questions that are asked don't go on for too long, and also they don't run into too much of kind of codey or technical issues, because a lot of people that are rewatching this back, I don't want them to be confused and think that Zenler's hard to work with, when actually it's the opposite. Okay, that's why I do this. So you're quite welcome, David. I really hope you've enjoyed today. Like I said, it's going to be scheduled. Every time we do it, it's going to run a little bit better. So we're just getting fine-tuning things our end. And like I said, I want more guests in there so you can buzz questions, because I saw when Howard came in, he had a plethora of questions going to him. And then and Rakesh as well. So I know I'm demonstrating things. Sometimes it's hard for you guys to like have the questions on a particular day, but if you can like save your questions up a day or 2 days before the actual event, then it's really good. And the event's always shown on the Facebook under the events tab. So if you go on there and it's already set up, put your questions in there, because it's likely that if you have them in your head, you'll forget them. So if you put them in there, when I go in there, I can go through them. And also it gives me an idea of what I'm working with as well. Because if I'm running a particular workshop like on Camtasia, I've got to make sure that I've got enough time to answer all the questions. So from a timing aspect, it's better for me as well. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it and learned a few extra things on Zenler. So I'm going to wrap up now. It's been around about 6 hours. I'm 4 minutes before 6. No last minute questions. So I'm going to end the video now. Have a great weekend, guys, because it's Friday here. So it's Friday evening. So it's Saturday, Sunday tomorrow. I'm back on Sunday with the marketing course, and I've got a live workshop to do for that. And of course, we'll be back on office hours on Wednesday. So that's good. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like the Camtasia video. So like I've said to you, like if you think of something, you think, oh, that could help, just make sure you can message me if you like. If you think that you can actually contribute and come on a day with Zenler, it'd be lovely to have you here. Lovely to have the actual instructors in on these lives as well. It'd be great. And also, if you think of like any sort of platforms, maybe you want to know a little bit more about Canva, how you can produce things out of Canva, those sort of things, I can do one on that. If you want to know more about automations and advanced automated email filters and those sort of things, again, I can do things on that. So if you give me the feedback, then I can run these into the live sessions. And of course, I'm live. So if anything goes wrong, it's live. You can see if it goes wrong. So we've been pretty seamless today. This is streamed from Zenler straight into our Facebook group using the live streaming feature. And we've run 2 3-hour lives, no problems throughout all of it. I've also shown you in the platform itself, nothing's broken down or anything. So you can see how stable the platform is. And we do a lot of these. We run a lot of live workshops and we have no problems with the platform at all. It's only going to get better though with Page Builder 2.0. And you saw there some real new releases that are going to be coming out heading to the platform that Rakesh told you about. So we got loads of stuff to come. We're always ramping up. We're going to have Alice Miriam with us. She's a new member. So she's going to be doing the kind of like when we're asleep slot because she's in the US. So it's going to be really good. Hopefully we'll have someone around all the time for you and support you even more than we're trying to do at the moment. So guys, take care and really good. Yeah, I'm glad you liked that little techie spot for you, David. I don't normally do that, but I did for you. You've been quite helpful on the group and done lots of videos to help people out. And Pauline said, yes, referring to Canva. So yeah, I'll do a Canva one. It's really easy to work with. Actually, Canva's now got like a video editor in it. It's really bad, but I can show you it anyway. It can be quite good for outputting some stuff. So maybe we'll have a look and maybe have an hour with Canva just to show you how you can use that for your course creation on the Zenler platform. All right, guys, so take care. Have a lovely weekend and I will speak to you soon. And I want to thank Howard and I want to thank Rakesh for their input and helping me out on this all day live. So see you at the end. It'll be the end of September. My goodness, the year is just going by so quick. All right, guys, take care and I'll see you soon.